Hello and welcome to Historic Hindsight. I'm John, that's Tom, and today we're having some beers and talking about us.
We are having some beers and talking about us, assuming we're. Yeah, there it goes. It's technology.
And we're old people, and so you're going to see us react to us live on the delay as we figure out what's going on.
But hopefully it's running. It's the State of the Union. We just, basically, it's Johnny's birthday this week. He wanted to hang
Tommy
out.
Came over.
So when we're hanging out, we figured why not throw a live up there, answer some questions for people, talk about the channel, talk about the history of the channel, what we're doing, where we're going, all that fun stuff. And if it's the State of the Union, we got a fire because this week Sherman has burned Atlanta.
That's right, yeah.
And we're a little behind on the actual episodes. They'll drop this week.
No, if they follow along, they know that.
Yeah,
we're always a little bit behind. We caught up for approximately 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, and then we dropped. So, look, doing a week-to-week in real time about a war that lasted 5 years, 4.5 years, it was
a
pretty
terrible
stupid.
idea. It was. We can't even blame COVID.
No.
We made the decision
Post-COVID.
pre-COVID.
What of the channel, but not.
Well, yeah. Well, but I think we are. No, we had decided to do the Civil War because we started doing. No, it was the first year after.
Yeah, that was
COVID,
the first year after.
right.
Yeah. So, State of the Union for the channel. We started in 2020 during COVID as something to do pretty much
before.
Right
in
before
December.
COVID. Yeah.
We had two shows where you came over.
Yeah.
And recorded, and then we had to go remote and start doing everything on.
Basically, this whole channel just started off as something for me and Johnny to do so we could see each other. It has grown since then quite dramatically over the last year. At this time last year, we were at 5,000 subscribers. We were excited and stoked about that, and all the people that were watching. We couldn't believe that we made it to 5,000. Our goal for this year was 10,000. We've crossed 30,000. It's been a fantastic journey. I can't thank you guys enough. I would have never thought we would have gotten that far to hear a couple drunk people talk about random shit in history.
I thought we were maxing out at about 1,000 when we hit 1,000, because that was 2 years into it. Because we hit 100 the first year, 1,000 the second, got to what? We didn't get to 5,000 until last year.
Yeah, last year, about this time last year, yeah.
And then you started doing stuff without me, and everybody started liking the channel.
The shorts, yeah. Well, they're the shorts that YouTube likes to push it. That seems to have helped tremendously. Things you guys want to see in the future, just start chatting that away. We are toying with some merchandise ideas.
We have the ideas.
We have the ideas. We're toying with trying to figure out a better printer, all that fun stuff, how to actually make it work.
And being able to follow through with an idea, which a couple of ADHD folks...
it's hard.
We've been toying with this idea for a couple of years now.
We do have a really good shirt idea. It's got Woodrow Wilson's face on it, and an entire one of my rants about Woodrow Wilson written down in lettering over Woodrow Wilson's face.
Yep, the design's there.
It at least makes me giggle.
I think that's a good one.
I have an idea of a picture of Lincoln with a rubber dictator stamp over his head, because if you follow Civil War in hindsight, despite being Unionists, we are not
fans of Lincoln.
Fans of Lincoln.
I mean, it's a real lesser of two evils situation you had going on.
Yeah, very much so.
Which is, I know it can be hard to imagine for folks who have been alive for the past 20 years or so, having to choose, not a president that you love and want them to do well, but just the lesser of two evils and the one that will hopefully screw things up less. But that's what they were dealing with back, during the Civil War right before.
Yep.
If you can imagine.
If you can imagine. So, we are also toying with, I know people have talked about Discord. I've started looking into it. We are an
what's Discord?
I don't know. You know more about
Well,
Discord
no, I know a
than
little
do.
bit. It's a chat, group thing. But if somebody wants to let us know, is that something that is...
You guys would like to
What
have?
people want? What do people do on it? Is it just a chat room? I don't know what
I
it
get
is.
the sense it's just a chat room. But yeah,
but people play games together on it and stuff. It's there's a whole thing.
Johnny and I do game, but we don't do online gaming very
we're
often.
not good enough
We're not
at
good.
things.
We got old. Now in college with Halo 2,
Want to smoke some folks.
we're pretty good. I was typically a suicide bomber in that. I like the sticker grenades, and I would just run at you and throw them.
Yeah.
And I only had a 1.5 kill death ratio, but
That was good enough.
good enough.
Had about 1 billion kill from the graves or whatever the hell they were called.
we're looking at that. We are an entirely
They
self-funded.
said it's more or less just a chat room.
Okay, yeah. So we're an entirely self-funded channel.
Yeah,
and it's self-funded by me.
Yeah,
and it's
I buy my own beer.
Yeah. Well, Johnny bought the beers. Johnny bought
I
the
bought this
Penguins today,
microphone.
and that microphone for
I
himself.
bought this computer.
And but you bought the computer for your work.
Unrelated,
Unrelated.
but still.
The ideas a lot of times come from me, so if you guys can start helping me out with some ideas,
all the
that
time.
would be great. Ideas, some come from Johnny, but not a lot.
No, I've had about 4, which are our animal episodes,
Yes.
and
Yep.
that is about the end of my ideas.
We got any questions? People talking? we
We're
got?
learning about Discord here. It's basically, it's community chat, voice chat, good organization for big gaming groups, which is not us, but opportunity for voice chat and streaming stuff. It's an internet forum with Townspeak, Twitch. Yeah, all right, we get it.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Cool. Is that so? You all want that?
Yeah, we can do that. We can put
We
something
could
together.
do that. If nothing else, maybe that'll give us ideas of future episodes. Because believe it or not, we're running out of things that we can think of off the top of our heads.
Well, I still got a backlog of stuff. And
I
we still
don't.
got
I'm out of
so-
history things that I've heard.
So
of.
we've got 3 different types of format on the channel. If you're new to joining us, we've got Civil War in Hindsight follows Civil War in real time, week to week, which was a stupid idea. We are almost done with it. We are in 1864.
A year away.
It's less than a year.
sake.
The war's over by May.
Okay.
We will, for you guys that do follow that channel, do like that part of the channel, we are going to continue. It won't be week to week. We won't just drop off like, oh, Lincoln died, the war's over, we're done. We will go into Reconstruction.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's not week to week. It's fine.
All right, I need another beer for that.
It's okay. It's okay.
So we're going to do.
We're
So we're continuing that format of
Yes.
Civil War.
starting.
Sorry, guys, I'm learning about this too.
It won't be 2025, but in 2026, I am planning, if I can get it all arranged right, do the research over the next year, I'm planning on doing real-time Spanish-American War. Don't worry, Johnny, it's like a 5-month war.
Maybe we
It's
should.
real short.
Yeah, we
that one's
should've
short. We're good with that one.
Should've
That's
started
why I'm
there.
picking, because nobody knows anything about the Spanish-American War. So
No,
we'll dive
it was,
into that.
well, if it was 5 or 6 months, I mean.
Well, we did do a long format episode on it way back in the day.
Sure.
It was.
Yeah.
Check out some of
I
our
remember.
older stuff. Like
Don't. Don't just look through some of the older stuff, and if you see a title you're interested in, be like, hey guys, you want to revisit this? Because
we could probably revisit a lot.
the early
The
stuff
Whiskey
was
Rebellion,
pretty
we need to
tough.
revisit because that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Yeah,
parts of U.S. history.
we like everybody else during COVID, we're trying to figure out how everything works and everything was going to work and look, and we went through a lot of iterations of trying
Yeah.
to figure out how to do the channel, what the channel was going to be, what it was going to look like. And so there's a rough patch, which is maybe that's why we had 100 subscribers in the first year. Who knows?
Maybe.
You know.
Tell your friends. It seems like right now, lately, over the last couple of weeks, YouTube has slowed down on us for whatever reason. Could be. What's your
Cassandra would like us to talk about World War II next, since it would be such a fitting time period.
We
cover,
have a lot of content on World War II.
based on
I
today's
will
political
not
climate.
do a World War II in real time, mainly
No,
because
and that's what we copied the Civil War off of.
well,
Well,
so
you.
That's one of the questions my boss actually asked me what got into the Civil War in real time, and the answer to that is I watched the history in real time, the World War II in real time, the World War I in real time. Was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I can do it on the Civil War because chances are he won't do it on the Civil War, and it was a complete and total ripoff.
Yeah. But nothing's
But it
original.
works.
Nothing's original anymore. That's okay, right?
We do talk a lot about different, like we've got, there's the battle of the fucking castle with the Germans fighting, the Americans fighting. We did that one. It was at the end of the Castle Eider or some shit like that.
Oh,
we did that. We've got, I'll do a Battle of the Bulge episode. My grandpa fought in that. We'll do it.
Are you already doing our outro? This is
No.
Oh, okay.
This
This is what you do during our outro.
This State of the Union, Johnny.
The number of
we're talking about in the
episodes-
future. What
the
we're
number
doing.
of episodes you remember that we have done in the past is astounding to me.
We've done.
But so we have the Civil War in Hindsight. We have the weekly podcast, which is the weird stuff.
Yeah, the weekly podcast, which
That's
is the
the
weird
animal
stuff.
stuff.
That's
And
animal
then-
stuff and other things in history that we talk about.
Your
And then
short.
the shorts, which are just whatever I find. They're for me. They're my pleasure.
Yeah. Well, and
I
the
find
gun
it
stuff.
funny.
You gotta do
And the gun stuff. We do. There's more of that coming. I am all of the firearms that you see
Brett,
on the
you're the
channel,
best.
all of that content that you see, that is stuff that I personally own or have access to through family members, friends, that kind of stuff.
Like me, it's some of the stuff I might have in the future one day, and he might borrow from
Sure.
me.
I got a lot of cool shit. I'm running out of cool shit, which brings me to the point of like I'm thinking about doing Patreon, but I feel like a whore asking for money. If people would be interested in that, tell me what I can do to like actually get you interested in paying $1 a month. Is Discord a thing that we do? Is it random behind the scenes shit?
You gotta talk about your gun. You gotta do more gun show and tell stuff. Because that's the stuff that YouTube doesn't like, TikTok doesn't like, and all that. But you could like actually talk about the guns and without having to worry about
on lives and stuff.
Yeah, without having to worry about
do
getting
that.
shut down because they think you're some sort of terrorist because you have a 1868 musket or whatever the hell.
One of the other questions I was asked in random passing lately was what's it like to be do YouTube and stuff, and how's it getting into it? First off, be patient. It takes multiple years. We're a very small channel still, and we're excited about 30,000. I can't believe that there's channels that have more than that.
That's a crazy number.
Like I've been recognized in public, which was weird. Like granted, it was a reenactment, but it was still really weird and off-putting because I don't like real people.
No, it was great because somebody appreciated the thing that he was doing.
Yeah.
You just don't know how to be a pure person. Hey, somebody wants to know if there's anybody you want to collab with on YouTube.
I would collaborate with anybody who wants to collaborate with me. It's not. Okay. Everybody talks about like Atun Shea Films and In Range and those channels are way too big for a channel like mine. If they would ever want to, by all means, but they get nothing from me, and I don't think they know of my existence, nor why would they. But yeah, I for the most part, within reason, there's a ton of channels that I would collaborate with. The Cynical Historian actually does follow us. He's a relatively big channel. I'd do something with him if he wanted to. Especially, it's a lot easier because I've got a job that's real. Johnny doesn't. I've got a real job, so it's hard to travel, but like I'm up for it.
Yeah, I don't do shit. Although I worked last week. I had like 3 days of work last week. It was insane, guys.
Yeah.
They're saying Twitch channel, then people can use free Prime subs to subscribe to you or something. I've seen Twitch and stuff.
Yeah, I've
before,
seen
but
Twitch. Isn't that more for like video game streaming?
It feels like I'm guessing there's other stuff now. But
Obviously, there's a way to do. I was toying with like I've got a small old school video game collection, and I've been toying with like playing like Red Dead Live and stuff. But I don't know how even remotely that works with streaming, or if
it's
anybody
not hard.
would even want to do
because
that.
that's actually another thing that we did during COVID. At the very beginning of it, was we set up like a little streaming station so that like our boys could stream Mario or some bullshit to nobody. But so I learned how to do it all. I figured it out. It's not hard.
Today's episode is sponsored by Younglings.
Yingling.
Yinglings.
Yep.
It's not actually.
Not Younglings.
But sure. We did have some other questions that some people drew up. Zachalites said, "What keeps you doing the videos?" Big fan of Civil War in hindsight, trying to catch up. Thank you, Zachalites.
Your boy is here.
Just pure hostility rage at this point.
Wait, I'm not supposed to be here for this.
Is Brett here? Because
one's
Brett
this?
asked the question. So why we do it?
Brett's here.
How we continue to do it? It's just because it's the way.
The show?
Yeah.
then
me and
I'm
Johnny
here for
just.
I'm
It's
here
just
for
me
this
and.
one.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
just me and Johnny to get together and.
Yeah, no, it's literally just to continue to have a thing to do every week.
We used to go to the hookah bar on a regular basis and bullshit.
Yeah.
It's going to the hookah bar and bullshitting, but with a camera in front of us.
Which was the original premise and idea for it was, like any 30-something
midlife crisis
year old dude, white boy, we're gonna start a podcast, right?
Yeah, midlife crisis.
Everybody wants to hear our conversations that we have at the hookah bar.
My rant.
Turns out they don't, but they do want to hear about history and shit, and we like talking about that, which is actually what we did talk about.
Yeah.
And people like that, and so that's good.
Is Undead Brett live? Did you see him? I thought you said you saw him. Undead Brett.
I see Brett Miller. I see your boy.
This one Johnny's gonna step away from because the question.
Okay, yeah, and then we got a question.
Was from Undead Brett. It says, "What are your thoughts on the Trump cabinet picks that have been announced so far, and who do you think will be the most dangerous, incompetent?" So first off, we're a history channel. History yet? I will tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, my annoyance of following the Civil War in hindsight in real time, we will not be doing the Civil War 2.0 in real time. Now, 3 years after it's over and we're lying in the post-apocalyptic landscape, we will follow that then. At that point, when it's actually history. As far as neither me and Johnny, we're not the most political people in the world. We don't really typically follow it a lot. I try to keep my head down as much as possible. And from what I can gather from his cabinet picks, the only thing I needed to know is he created a new cabinet position of the government of efficiency or something like that, and that there are 2 people who are ahead of that. And that's all you really need to know about his cabinet, is you create an efficiency department that's headed by 2 people with the same title. Johnny, get back here. You got to answer the other questions.
No, hey, somebody wants to know if Jack Daniels is good whiskey.
No.
Oh, you can't put a blanket on that. They have so many different whiskeys. Surely
All
one
right,
of
so
them's
first
good.
off, I am not a whiskey snob. I really can't distinguish. I love whiskey. Whiskey is my go-to drink. I cannot distinguish. My palate's not
He's
good enough
looking
to
for
tell high-end
advice
whiskey,
for brother's
low-end whiskey.
birthday. You can do that.
Huh?
He's looking for advice for his brother's birthday.
Oh, for whiskey?
Yeah.
Maker's Mark.
There you go.
That's my go-to. It's a
he's
cheap
not gonna,
bourbon.
Yeah, he's not gonna give you expensive shit.
It's not cheap. It's a cheap bourbon. It's like $22, $23 most
Undead
liquor
press
stores.
here, yeah.
And it's my go-to that I drink. It's not really my go-to because my go-to is Old Crow whiskey because that's the rock gut that I like.
They did say the new organization spells out Doge, and that's funny.
And that is fun.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's at least that. I missed the rest of it, but I imagine.
It's just that there's a government of efficiency with 2
Nah,
people.
I'm putting my head in the
That's-
ground.
That's all you need.
And I can do that because I am a white person from privilege, and I moved out here in order to put my head in the ground and ignore everything else in the world.
I will say, if you live in my area, in the Clay counties of the Indianas of this great state, in 2 years I will be running for office for something, because when I went to go and vote, there was nobody running opposed for any of the local positions, and that's just wrong. You can't have
it's
government
nonsense.
discourse if there's no competition.
I refuse to
That's like getting your sister pregnant. You don't do
What?
that. You have weird
That-
offspring.
Nope.
So vote
That's-
for me if you don't want your sister pregnant.
That's not related. But do that. Yeah, also, still. We are from Indiana.
Indiana.
I'm from southeastern Indiana, Versailles.
Well, not originally, but that's where
No,
you're
well, I'm
yeah.
from central Indiana. I'm from an hour and 45 minutes northwest of.
I was
where
born
am
in
now.
Wisconsin.
I'm-
That's why I say bag like bag.
Big. Do
That-
you do milk? Milk?
Milk? No, I milk.
You're a milk.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the bag. It's that
bag.
long A on bag that
Bag.
I can't get rid of.
Yeah.
I didn't even live in Wisconsin. Like I was like 6 months old when we moved, but because all my parents and brothers and shit had that
So you
accent.
did.
like,
All right. So you
that's-
did.
It's the bag. I don't. It's.
You
it's
have
fine.
no claim to Wisconsin.
No, I don't.
That's like me saying I'm from
Mo-
Indianapolis.
so most of my youth was spent in Ohio, and then my like middle school, high school ages was in Indiana.
yeah, I
in
spent like
college in
2
Indiana.
years in
In
downtown
Indiana, so-
Indianapolis and then moved to Noblesville.
So you're an You're an
I'm
Appy.
from. I'm not.
From that town.
I'm from Noblesville because that's where I spent all of my formative years. Where's all right, Caleb? Where where are you from, Caleb? Wouldn't be a Tommy stream without it mentioning incest, right? Yeah.
It wouldn't be a time machine without what?
Caleb says milk without you mentioning incest.
I don't think I've mentioned incest in the other streams, but maybe I have.
Maybe you have.
Who
That's-
knows?
That's really hard to judge at this point. Caleb loves Ohio. I don't.
Ohio's fine.
Yeah,
you know what?
I've started to love Ohio a whole lot more in the past year or so.
We went last year, or was it the beginning of this year? It was March.
It was-
Towards the end of last hockey season, we went down to Columbus. We saw
Yep.
the Blue Jackets play Edmonton Oilers. They kicked the shit out of Edmonton Oilers, which was a surprise, both physically and like actually.
They did it to the Avalanche too, and the Avalanche went to play.
That's crazy.
Like, it,
I am
What?
now, by default, because I used to be a Coyotes fan, but they don't exist anymore. So now I was looking for a new team, and I figured because of the Civil War channel, I should probably support the Blue Jackets because it's kind of same. And since they suck, it's appropriate. Every sports team I like sucks.
Caleb, you got to get back to Michigan, bud. He's in the deep south now.
Oh God, gross! Don't do that.
Michigan's my dream. I wanted to go to Michigan. When we were looking, because my wife and we were looking for land, and of course we had to go far away from where we lived because
Land's not cheap. where
it's
you were.
expensive there,
No,
and
in
it's
Indiana,
a
no.
lot cheaper out here. I would have gone to Michigan, but we had to stay closer to Indiana and family and stuff. But yeah, Michigan's dope. Do you have another? You don't have another question?
No, that's all the questions we
All
have.
right, all right. So what are we doing with the future of the channel? We're doing reconstruction.
Okay.
How often?
So there will be so after the Civil War's over and the mid of next year, we're going to do
How
reconstruction.
long does how many years is reconstruction?
But reconstruction is like 20 years. We're not doing it week to week. We're not even doing it to month. I will
It'll be
probably
like-
do like a 10 episode recap of what reconstruction was.
That's
Spoiler alert:
good.
Lincoln gets assassinated. Johnson takes over and is a copperhead and just tanks reconstruction.
What?
From the get go?
Well, fuck.
There you go.
Now what? Now we don't. They're not gonna have to watch
Well,
it.
they gotta know what Grant did though. Grant fixes it.
All
And then it gets
right.
destroyed after Grant.
And then after, are we gonna do Lost Cause after that?
Oh, we can talk about the building of the Lost Cause. I cannot wait to talk about. I've been waiting to do the episode because I want to wait for the Civil War to be over. But there's Americana or Americus, Brazil. I think it's Americana. It's a town where all the Confederates fled to, and they're like, we're gonna have slaves in Brazil, which they were able to have slaves there for like a year. But then they stayed there, and then they started, like, obviously you can't just continue to have interpersonal relationships, so they start like, having relationships with normal Brazilians, and then now it's like the city of Brazil people that have Confederate heritage, and every year they have a Confederate Heritage Day, which is the most hilarious fucking thing in my head, that you've got these ultra-white supremacist nationalists that are like now just Hispanic.
Yeah, living their life. All right. So somebody's curious. Well, this is cold black coffee. Curious about the Navy Colt, the Yellow Boy, the Henry Repeater. They say they're guns that won the West, but the Plains tribes, noted by General A. Miles, were better equipped.
Okay,
I don't know
so
exactly what that means,
3
but-
guns, Colt Navy. Besides
Okay.
the pocket Colts, so the small Colts, when you lump them all together, the pocket Navy, pocket Army, police, the fucking Wells Fargo models, all those sold more than any other Colt ever. But the Colt Navy is probably one of the most popular ones. When you get into the Wild West era, like the Civil War, post-Civil War, that's when the United States gun culture actually becomes a thing, because the United States spent a whole shit ton of money on guns, and then we didn't need them for the army that we had post-war, so we sold them all off. So there was a lot of like Colt armies, Colt navies floating around. Even the Captain Ball eras, even when we have cartridges, the Captain Balls stick through. Like Bill Cody loved the Captain Balls. The Yellow Boy, that's the 66 Winchester. That's popular, but it's the 73 that really gets claimed to win the West. But in reality, like, your Colt Army gets that the 1873 Army. They're like, oh, it's the gun that won the West, or the 1873 is the gun that won the West. Meh. And there's not really a gun that won the West, but they were one of the most popular lever actions around.
Your boy, I don't know where you're from, but he's talking about wanting to come to America maybe in May for his brother's wedding, which I hope you get to.
Is that
because
is that the Canadian that way, Matt, on vacation?
Perhaps, I don't know.
Is it Ivan? No,
I don't
it's
know,
not Ivan.
It's your boy.
Ivan.
He's hoping to eat the mysterious Chicago-style pizza, which I have bad news for you.
It's okay.
It's lasagna
It is Chicago deep dish pizza is 100% lasagna.
with fewer noodles,
It's lasagna.
but it's soup. It's lasagna. It's not.
Why did I forget the
I don't
Canadian's
like
name?
Detroit. I like Detroit-style pizza. I'm more of a thin flat. I like that. That might actually be my favorite. Detroit style. I think Detroit has it right.
I like New York. I like the big slice.
New York's fine. New York's
You can
fine.
fold
It's
it.
a little soft. I like a little bit crispier.
But that's fine. I
Yeah,
like
which
it a
is
little soft.
okay.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
why I'm there with the Detroit business. On a serious note, Civil War topic is pretty serious in history buff circles, or most people over 40 years old. Can get you a lot in trouble. Aren't you concerned for our safety?
Oh, because the lost causers get mad
people
at me.
are crazy.
Eh.
No. What do we do? Like, what do we do in the? We're not like protesting.
No, that's not
anything.
entirely true. I have had threats.
Have you?
Yeah, there was this guy who's like, "Oh, come to a reenactment with me and my boys, and we'll teach you a lesson." Like, okay, like whatever, dude. Tonto, like what?
Like what is?
I'm not really fighting for the North.
What you should do is you should offer to teach him a lesson in return and teach him how to read a book. That would be nice of you. Oh man. Okay. No, Chappelle show sketch is hilarious.
By the way, there's YouTubers that like or TikTokers or somebody like they went out to like a reenactment dressed as slaves. That was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life.
That's really good. Cassandra wants to know if we're going to be talking about parts of American history that aren't talked about much.
Yeah, that's a lot of what a channel
So if you go back, that was the original intent of the channel was to cover weird,
obscure
ridiculous, shit. Kind of funny.
The time that we dropped a nuke
things.
on Girl's Dollhouse on accident,
like that. The Emu War, fighting emus. But she said there's a thing called the Banana Wars, which I hope is funnier than like Dole Banana, Chiquita Banana, like being horrific with slavery and
I
stuff.
have a vague.
Is it?
I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to be wrong, but I have a vague understanding of the Banana Wars, and sure, yes. You know what? Give us like a month,
all right,
we'll put a Banana War episode out. Yeah, let me do some research to touch up on it. But yes, I'm vaguely familiar with the Banana Wars.
Yeah, Detroit is the best. I do have some backup on that. That's good.
I'm not.
All right, hey, do
Detroit's
you know
fine.
how much Henry Repeater's category high capacity were made by 1865, or is that just crazy?
What do you mean high
like
capacity?
How many of their high capacity?
How many of the Henry Repeaters? So there was around 15,000 total production of the 1860 Henry. They were all the same. There's just one uniform model, 15 rounds, 44 Henry flat. It's a relatively anemic cartridge, but that cartridge actually stayed through to the 1866, and that cartridge was actually also used in the Colt conversion, the 1871/72 Richards Mason conversion. It was that same, which the military did adopt that before the 1870. I'm sorry, this is autism.
That's all right. Hey, Colback.
Autism.
Okay. You don't have to worry about it. Tommy types the way that your voice chat translated that, so I'm used to that, and it's all right. We got through it. We figured it out. Yeah, Chicago pizza isn't a thing outside of Chicago. That's true because it's terrible. And there are other places that will sell you a Chicago-style pizza, but if it's not in Chicago, it's just deep dish.
Yeah, and it's not even the same deep dish. No, Chicago deep dish is different.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's a slightly deeper dish than you would normally get on a deep dish pizza. But no, Chicago deep dish is literally
It is cheese on the bottom, and then sauce.
It's soup.
Yeah, it's.
That's what
but they have Chicago pizza that's not the deep dish, but like it's just Detroit at that point.
What are some YouTubers that you take inspiration from?
I
don't watch history YouTube.
So I watch. It just depends on my mood. I go all over the place with history, and it's not even all history. The Vice Grip Garage. I watch that guy all the fucking time. I don't know nothing about cars. I have no interest in cars, but there's something about that man's persona that I just love. I watch him. So if you're into cars or even not, go watch him. He's a goofy guy. Love him. Atuche Films. Obviously, I've watched him from when he was before getting super big with Checkmate Lincolnites. Like,
okay,
I watched him when he had like
5,000-10,000
ish subscribers.
And that's he dressed up in the uniforms.
Yeah.
And,
So I really like that guy. Obviously,
I do know him. He's funny.
In Range TV.
That's guns, right?
That's guns, mostly guns. He does some history. He does some Wild West vignettes. That's why I would really like to meet him, is to do the Wild West stuff, because I like that era of history as well. And then obviously Ian from Forgotten Weapons. I watch him a lot. Video game channels. I watch. Shit, what are the names?
I don't know.
YGT Ford and Metal Jesus. I watch those guys. It's whatever YouTube comes up with. I watch it. Whatever I'm in the mood for.
Jesus, Caleb says in the South it's serious. He's been yelled at for, basically smelled like he didn't approve of anything General Lee said because he's such a saint.
I have gotten a lot of hate.
When I can imagine that's
look,
true.
I pulled out facts and statistics.
No, they don't.
And datas on General Lee being actually a shit general, and the amount of hate that I've gotten from that. This is the one thing. Look, if you're getting into a YouTube channel and you're doing YouTube channel and stuff like that, whatever you say, whatever facts are, you're wrong. It doesn't matter. You're wrong.
Well, and if
I did a video shooting a musket prone, and you're like, that's not prone. I'm fucking laying down.
Yeah.
That is you want me to be completely flat on the ground? Like, I don't, what the?
I looked up videos of professional shooting competitions prone because I don't know shooting. I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. So I looked it up because
It's
I'm
what
like,
I was
maybe
doing.
Tommy's an idiot. And no,
that's exactly.
Yeah, I think you know what I think it was. I think they didn't realize that you were on a bit of a uphill.
Maybe that's it.
I think they didn't realize that.
I can't help that I have a little bit of a belly either. That gives me a little bit
Somebody
of
did comment that
somebody
I gave
did
you
come
like
up-
an
which
extra
is
for
that's
it.
hurtful,
Which
guys.
that's
It's hurtful.
It's funny and true, though.
It is funny,
I'll
though. By the way, some of the videos that I do, it's because it makes me giggle and it pisses people off, like the 1911s. Like, I don't actually hate that or even really have an opinion on that firearm, but it gets me lots of views. The Trent shotgun, I don't hate it or really have opinions on it, but it gives me lots of views and it pisses people off, so why not?
Grab me another beer and then tell me if the U.S. has actually lost 13 nukes.
Yes. Yeah.
Can we?
We've done videos on some of them that we've lost.
Can I just say maybe it's not 13.
It's more than that.
It's probably a considerable amount. But the thing is, like, how? All right, It's not easy to set off though.
So we did an
Like, you're not
episode
gonna
on
dig
us
into it
accidentally
and say,
dropping one on a dollhouse. What it's
Well,
Playhouse, not a
no,
dollhouse.
not a, it's a, like an outdoor playset type
Yeah.
deal. It was outside.
we did an episode on the Titanic actually being found, the real Titanic, the whole story behind that. When we found the real Titanic sunk, we were actually searching for 2 lost nukes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And they used that as the excuse of, oh, we're looking for the Titanic.
Ah, yeah. Turns out, hey, look at that. Look at
Which
that. We found some
the
of it.
summary of that story was they were given the ability to go look for the Titanic after they found the nukes. So they found the nukes and they had like a 2-week period to try to find the Titanic, which they did. So
Oh, I mean, good for them for
two
finding
of the
it.
ones that we've lost a bunch. We got some more episodes coming in the future about us going whoopsies.
Oh, good.
There's going to be a short coming up in the very near future and a longer episode of all the times the United States sent the military on the civilian populations.
We're gonna okay. I thought we were just doing fun stuff. That wasn't
That's
gonna
fun
make me
for me,
sad.
Johnny. It makes me giggle.
Which M1's the best?
Huh?
The
The
best,
M1?
best M1. Which is the best M1? Which M1 is superior? Is
The
what they asked.
Grand or the carbine? Or are you going to the 14? What I don't know what you.
Which
the-
M1 is superior? That's
The
question.
M1 that I
Let's
currently
answer
own.
the question.
That's the best one.
Jesus.
The rifle's better than the carbine. The carbine's reliably shit in comparison to modern firearms. Although the M1 itself has its own quirks and features, and old guns are awesome. But here's the thing: if you only shoot new guns and then you start collecting old guns, you're gonna think that all old guns are shit. Well, it's just different. Yeah, they got quirks. They got personalities. You learn them.
Thanks, Mark. We agree wholeheartedly that Woodrow Wilson was crap.
Worst
Person.
Yeah.
He's just
shit human being.
He literally just
I
commented to
cannot
say that he
wait
would
till we
like
get.
to
we got to
agree
jump
with
back
us.
into the president stuff.
We
haven't
do.
done
I
that for a
actually
little
noticed that we haven't done
It's
one
been a
for
minute.
while.
We do. That's another thing that
Do
we
we
do.
support militias? What does that mean?
I feel like if I say anything to that question, the
B.
FBI is gonna come and get me.
Yeah, be more.
You mean
specific.
like state militias, like the 11th Indiana during the Civil War, or do you
I-
mean like
I will
militias
bet-
like I am a white guy in the woods with an armband
right?
and a
Or-
manifesto?
Or militias like I am a sect of rebel outcasts fighting for the freedom of people in an oppressed government somewhere. Like, I'm sure I'm for militias at some point.
The French Resistance, yeah, good guys.
I
Well,
am for some militias.
there are some bad ones.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Can you fire a
Partisan?
black powder carbine on horseback
Yeah, why not?
if it's a good horse?
If the horse doesn't get spooked, yeah, sure.
And you're
And even if the horse
good enough?
spooks, you can fire it once.
well, yeah, you can't fire it. Yes, it's. Can you stay on and fire a second shot?
Are you asking it as if it was something that was done practically? No.
Probably not.
Most of the cav. So especially during the Civil War, most of the cav was actually used for observation more than it was a combat force. There's not a lot of fighting necessarily off the horseback. The Union started doing more of mounted infantry, where they would ride into combat on the ponies and dismount and fight like infantry. That was much better tactics. But shooting a gun from a back of a horse that's moving isn't the most practical thing in the world. You can be done.
Yeah.
Accuracy suffers.
Yeah. Oh, they were talking about you're going on your list of things people like that you were pissing people off with. They were
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about Trent shotgun
Yeah,
and how
that was wild.
how it was not
I
nearly
didn't
as
think that was a
effective as people
controversial
thought.
thing. We have documented evidence from the Ordnance Department that said, yeah, that's kind of shit. And people are
So-
like, no, it's they were shooting grenades out of the air with that. Just think about that shit the amount of myths that we have in history about warfare. It's like, think about it.
Yeah.
Are you going to be sitting in the trench, looking up, having a gun at the ready, and see a fucking grenade?
Yeah,
And then,
people really, really want to imagine themselves as the Call of Duty hero
Rambo. Yeah.
walking into the trench and, firing off their shotguns. And then after that, they pull out their pistol, right? Because that's what they said after you run out of your shots, then you pull your sidearm. And, God,
The amount of people that got mad at me when I said pistols
the
were
people
beyond
that think
useless.
that every soldier in war is a fucking Green Beret.
Right?
Like, most of the soldiers
Untrained
are
children.
fodder.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's awful, and that's why people don't like war. But
Somebody in the Civil
that's
War
what it is. They are 18 to 20-year-old fodder.
I made the comment about the Civil War mostly being fought with volunteer troops that weren't trained, and people are like, oh, not the North. The North had elite troops. Oh, fuck, we didn't. They were all untrained children.
Where would you go if you wanted to look for a broken NDN?
The Broken Indian.
NDN.
What is an NDN?
Capital N, capital India, capital, I don't know. A gun or something?
If you ask that question, give me more details. I don't know what an
Yeah, cold black
NDN is.
coffee. We don't know what that means. Sorry.
What, cold black coffee? Oh, that's the
That's
guy's
the
name.
person
Oh,
who
I got
said
you.
that. Caleb. We try to be like historical mythbusters. They said that we're more like historical mythbusters, and
It's
I
somewhat.
think we're like, I like to think of it as we are giving perspective to history, because that was something I've never been a big history person, but perspective is something I always lacked with it. And then I read, talking to you, and then also read what lies my teacher told me or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh wait, history is kind of
There's
bullshit. And then you think about it, and then like, you have to remember why it's written the way it is, who wrote it, and what they're wanting people to remember. And then who's teaching it 10, 40, 50, 100 years later, and what are their agendas and the way that they teach it. And you forget that most people were just kind of going through their lives.
just you and me doing your thing.
It's
They
just
get
it's just a
stuck.
couple of people that are making all the history happen. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. That'll be uplifting. Yes. Do you think Canada and/or Mexico will be part of the United States by the 2040s? I think the United States might be part of Canada or Mexico. Like,
Well, okay.
all
All right. So let's unpack this. Let's unpack this for a second. First off, every time the United States has tried to invade Canada, it hasn't exactly worked in our favor. To be fair, every time Canada tried to invade the United States,
Well, 1984.
other than burning the White House, it hasn't exactly worked in their favor. As far as Mexico's concerned, it would be more likely that we take them over, but we have current administrations that are like trying to get rid of the Mexicans, so I don't think we want Mexico.
I don't know what that means. Okay, so all right, so Brett, he means like an organized militia where people are taught how to properly handle firearms, march in formation, etc. Join the army.
That, and assuming you don't have a manifesto, sure, fine.
Yeah, if you want to play military, do it. That's fine, I guess.
Just don't have a manifesto.
Understand that what you're doing is cosplay,
No
and don't
manifestos.
ever try to march on some friggin' city and
No
hold up a
manifestos.
government building or anything like that. The idea, we talked about this maybe on our first live, the idea of the people fighting the government is insane and absurd in this day and age. The
Don't
government,
listen to Johnny. The Whiskey Rebellion. When they tax our whiskey, we fight
Yes.
the government.
Yep. And now the government will fight you back with drones. And
I didn't say we'd win.
yeah. No,
They didn't win then either, Johnny.
Go die for your
But
cause.
it's principles.
By all means, if that's what you would like to do, I would like to stick my head in the ground and not do that. But you know, I
You're getting politics, Johnny. It's
no.
modern politics. We're getting close.
Yeah.
This is getting.
I don't like that question much.
What's the
Okay.
question? What's the question?
No, the militia question. That's all.
You know, if you, well, hell, technically speaking, if you join
Sure,
a reenacting group,
do
you're in
it.
a militia.
Yeah, do it. That's fine.
That's, you know, technically speaking.
Yeah, again, just
There's nothing wrong with learning gun safety.
no.
Please
That's
learn
important.
gun safety. That's
And if you
great.
if you want to learn to march, learn how to coordinate as a team and work together and do all this stuff. That's all good
There's
stuff.
a lot
to
of
learn. That's,
rope courses you can go to for that.
Well, no, but even if
have fun.
if that's the way that you want to do it through that means, that's fine. It's okay. Do it that way.
Just don't have a manifesto.
Just don't have a manifesto. I think you're right. That's really
Militias are
what
fine as long as they don't have a manifesto.
it boils down to. Good fundamentals lost on today's youth.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, fundamentals.
As a
How to fucking make a fire and pitch a tent.
I
all that
guess,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
yeah.
It's called the Boy Scouts.
Still exists, by the way.
It's Scouts of America now. They kind of merged them.
Did they?
They kind of merged them, yeah.
But the Girl Scouts still have a stranglehold.
The Girl
on
Scouts,
whole
well, see, the Girl Scouts are the Girl
marketing
Scouts, and the
department.
Boy Scouts are the Scouts of America. So, like, you can be a girl and join the Boy Scouts, but the Mormons really ruined the Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Well,
Not if you're Mormon, that's fine. I'm not being offensive, but like they
Well,
kind
that's-
of. We'll have a
might not
Boy
be
Scout
funny.
episode in the future. We've talked about. We might even. Did we have one?
We've
talked
I think
about
we've
it
had
at least.
tangential Boy Scout
Boy Scout
episodes.
stuff. Yeah.
I think
that's
tangentially-
something that's gonna have to. We'll do a Boy Scout episode.
If historical hindsight are the historical Mythbusters, who is Adam and who is Jamie?
You're Adam. I'm Jamie.
I think so. Yeah.
that would be the best fit, but I'm not. Jamie
also-
is too melancholy for really to be me. Like when I get
Yeah.
on my rants and tangents
You're
and
way
anger and
too-
hostility, yeah, you can ask a coworker today about the merits of communism versus big C communism and the difference between the two, and him not understanding that big C communism isn't little C communism.
Cold black coffee. We don't know what the NDN is. I know. I'm guessing you're looking for a gun website or something.
Is it a
for
gun
used
website?
gun.
What is it? Huh?
NDN.
Is it a gun?
I don't know. They're looking for a broke NDN, but I don't know what that means. So, maybe we'll get there. Anyway, you used to read about Polish history, but it's too depressing.
I don't know a lot about Polish history.
I imagine there's.
It's probably not great. You're a country
No.
in between lots of other countries. I imagine you got taken over a lot.
Long string of an incompetent king got followed
Yeah.
by a incompetent
Yeah.
son, and
Sounds about
5
right.
generations of morons took over.
Yep, that's
Maybe we'll cover some. That sounds
sure.
up
I'll
our
look into
alley.
Polish.
We
What
can
what
do a
what
little
part
bit
of
that.
Poland history do you want to learn about? Sure, fuck it. I'll learn something.
Oh,
Medieval shit.
Brett Miller asked the question about Canada, Mexico, because apparently Alberta has expressed interest in becoming a U.S. state, and invading Mexico has been floated as a strategy for ending immigration by extreme repubs.
So let me get this straight. You want to shore up the border by taking over Mexico and incorporating them, but you think, you know what? I'm not. It's
No,
modern
Tony,
politics.
I
Modern
thought all the
politics. I'm not-
cartels were coming from Central and South
Yep,
America
it's fine.
through
Don't
Mexico,
even-
though.
that's not-
if
well,
we
then
took over
then we're gonna have
Mexico,
to
how
have
do
a
we
se-
solve that problem?
Because then we're gonna have to have a southern border in southern Mexico.
Oh,
I guess. I
get-
don't know.
Like communist, I'm pretty extremely socialist. I think. I don't know for sure, but I don't think money should exist.
That's little C communism.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm communist.
Yeah. So little C communism, for those that don't understand, is a utopian society in which
Oh, I don't want utopia though.
No, hold on. The means
Oh.
the means of production are owned by the people.
Yes.
There is no such thing as private property. Private property and personal property are different.
oh,
You can still
okay.
own a house,
Okay.
but you can't have a house and have profit off that property. So like if you
Oh,
own,
no landlords?
yeah, there's no landlords.
Good.
So if you owned a
Bingo that.
farm, that's public property that's owned by the people. There is no money in that society. The means of production are just owned by the people, and it's all like this egalitarian, like
Okay.
everybody holds hands. There's Marxists.
That seems like there's a lot of problems with that. I don't think I'm that.
It's not something that actually can really exist.
Yeah.
There's
not that.
Marxists, which are kind of the intermediary between socialists and communists, which kind of start to go down the no money trend, but not
I
quite
also
there.
don't support annexing Canada or Mexico. I don't. I actually think that we should break up into 5 individual countries, at least, as the United
Modern
States.
politics.
Is where I'm at. Take your kind of geographical regions where you say, oh, I'm from the Northeast or the Pacific Northwest or the Southwest or the Texas or kind of place, and now they're their own countries now. That's
So
fine.
I did had this debate at work today, and we talk about America being the best country in the top 10s, and I went on this autistic polar trend of like what we actually rank in. The most surprising statistic is that we rank 13th in the world in reading, which is really surprising when you find out that over 50% of the population in the United States can't read at above a 6th grade level, which is astounding that we're 13th in the world, but we can only read at a 6th grade level. At work,
it's
at work,
that's not.
I had
true, but
people that shall nameless that are higher up than me in a corporate position that didn't understand that forego meant to not do it,
they thought
as opposed to
forego
it.
Go ahead and do
go
it.
ahead and do
is
it.
what they thought.
They,
yeah.
that's two different words.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I don't like little C communism either. It sounded good at first, but then I don't think.
It's a utopian thing that doesn't.
I don't
really,
think I
it's
do
not,
like
it's
it.
Not really possible.
What European countries have you traveled to?
Johnny, have you traveled any?
I've been.
Yeah, you've been to a couple.
I've been to Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland, and I think that's it.
Just European countries or countries in general? So European countries for
That's
me.
European countries
It's
for me.
England, France, Austria, Liechtenstein.
Oh, I've been to France.
Germany, Italy, and Austria. Did I say Austria? I've been to 7.
Yeah.
7 different European nations. Out of all of those, Liechtenstein was hilarious, but I think I want to say Switzerland and or Austria were my favorite. Mainly because of mountains and cold.
I would love to visit Greece.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Actually, Greece is
It's
on my
on-
wife and it's on our bucket list.
Hey, couple trip.
There we go. That's
Yeah,
the one.
That's the one.
Greece.
That's where we do a couple trip.
That would be dope. Thoughts on socialist democrats? Soc Dems?
Sock Dems? You mean the guys that like the idea of like public health care and
I like
public
that.
education and all
I
that
like
stuff?
that.
Yeah, those are all good. Those
I think that might be where I lie.
you're probably closer to like Sweden kind of thing.
I'm just
Where you
just an angry at capitalism social democrat. I think is where
yeah,
I'm at.
that's probably closer where you're at. Yeah. Social programs.
I just
for
want people to be nice to everybody,
and be able to.
and I
have
don't think
healthcare
people should be punished
and
for
education.
existing as a human. That's all. We need a video and the origin of our sayings. Please, guys, what is one of the hand? Okay.
Oh,
Talking
you mean
about
like
idioms,
phrases like idioms? Yeah, okay,
idioms.
yeah, we can do that.
So,
yeah, that'll be a fun episode. I'll do that.
One of the
We'll do
hand is worth two in, or
that.
a bird in the hand.
Where some of those idioms come
is
from?
worth two in the
I'm
bush,
assuming
yeah.
you don't want the racial idioms because I know where racial slurs come from, and I think that might get us banned
Oh,
on the
almost.
TikToks and YouTubers.
A lot of the idioms are probably going to be slightly problematic at their very
probably.
roots.
But yeah, I'll do some language.
That
idiom
would be
stuff.
fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
There are a
episode,
lot
yeah.
of really fun
Yeah, we'll do that.
things like that.
I should be writing this shit down.
Liechtenstein is goated, apparently. I literally touched clouds when we visited. That's awesome.
The craziest thing in Liechtenstein is when I went to Liechtenstein, there was an American spacesuit that you could climb into on their like central capital.
That's cool.
Like, which is weird as shit. Like, why is that there? But hell, I got a picture somewhere at my
that's
parents'
dope.
house of me in an American spaceman suit in
my
Liechtenstein.
wife and I, we did our honeymoon in Switzerland, and we went snowboarding, and it was like the very last weekend of the season. And but we went up, and it was a cloudy day, but we went up through the clouds, and then it was a sunny day, and it was great. And then we started snowboarding down, but then we were in the clouds and couldn't see 5-10 feet in front of us. But because it was the end of the season,
Were you on
the
the
only
Matterhorn?
people were there. Not at this day, but we did do
Yeah.
that one. It was all regulars, and so we had people just flying by us because they knew where the trails were, and they don't have the trails like marked off, gated off, or anything. You can just end up off the trail and into a pond or whatever.
I went up the Matterhorn in
It was dope.
non-skiing
I
season,
highly
so there
recommend
was snow, but there wasn't like skiing snow. And I built a rock mountain, and apparently people kick those down now.
Tell me, people are interested in your manifesto. One person.
My manifesto?
Well, if
you're
you-
assuming
if-
I have a manifesto.
No, the question is if you would create a manifesto. He wants to do a book, not a manifesto.
Okay,
but
so there
That's my
likely
dog,
will
Lily
be
Bear.
books
She's
that
the
come
best.
out at some point. I don't really want to because
Those are
I'm
very
probably
good.
not going to do them. But I have an idea of a Civil War
Oh.
book where I just put up a microphone and
Oh,
I
no.
rant.
Sorry, wait.
Oh, you're back on. No, we're back on. We're good. We're good. We're good.
We're
We're good.
good?
Yeah,
Okay.
give it a second. It'll catch back up.
Woo.
She hit it.
Sorry,
That
my
camera's
dog's
there. We
gonna
go.
keep messing up.
Hey, if you lost us for a second, the dog hit the cord and the cord cut it off. But like I say, my manifesto book's talking about that. I
Audio
have
should've
a
still been
vague
there.
plan where I'm going to get into a recording studio for multiple days in a row, and I'm just going to rant for hours about the Civil War, like from pre-Civil War up through the Civil War, and then I'm gonna have that transcribed out without editing it, with all my ums and stammers, and that's going to be a book. That's kind of a plan. I do also have a plan because there's not a Spanish American like day-to-day book, and I'm planning to write that at some point too, but it probably will never come out. So don't hold your breath for any of that.
Okay. So Cassandra. I don't know how they prefer to pronounce her. They feel insulted that nobody ever came up with original epithets for Greeks in America. They just called us greasy. And actually, that might be the worst thing that Americans can do to a foreigner
Is not come up with
just be basic and simple with
Wait, Guido?
how-
What's Guido? That's not Greek, is it? Guido?
Isn't
that's-
that more
that's the fucking-
Italian?
Is that Italian? I'm
don't
sorry.
know. We're not.
I'm
we don't
sorry
know.
ahead of time
Uh,
with that offending anybody.
But that's really funny that
Yeah.
that it's like you guys could be better than that. You have so many other nationalities and races and everything.
Is there a lot of Greeks that live in the United States? Is that a big immigration population?
I mean, there's.
I mean, yes, I understand that there are Greeks that have
Greeks.
immigrated to the United States.
I
but,
don't
like,
know.
You know, we got Germans. We got a fuck ton of Germans. We got a fuck ton of.
Well, but I
of-
don't know if there's like a hot, like you think of Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah,
and stuff
Dutch,
like
yeah,
that. I don't
there-
know. I don't know where they would, what the hot spot of Greek would be. I'm sure there is one.
There's got to be one somewhere. Yeah.
Not racial, but then use that word. The ones that use the word don't mean anything anymore. Okay. Bad temper. Okay.
What's a bad temper? I have
FBI,
bad temper.
open up. You're not welcome here, FBI. You
What'd he
need
say?
to leave. The FBI's here and they want in.
No, we don't like feds.
Do we support DC statehood? I can't support what I want to happen to DC.
So the idea is that there was Washington D.C. was supposed to be a separate entity because no state should be able to have the nation's capital. First off, if we're going to talk about that, move the nation's capital. It being where it is makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
From military defense,
Well-
from strategic positioning, it's a product of
Do
its
you
time
think-
during the whole formation of this country.
Do you
But
think that they picked that because the monuments were there already?
the monuments were there already? As far as statehood goes, like, I mean.
Sure. I
The
don't
people
care.
can vote, but they don't technically have a state, so it's kind of this weird.
All right, yeah, but
it
sure,
would be a small. It's
and-
a city. It's one city. How is that a state?
Yeah, and people in gerrymandered
Just give it back to
areas can
Virginia.
vote, but it's not like their votes matter anyway. Like,
Just give it back to Virginia.
anyway. Yeah. Why
Give it
can't
back to
Why can't
Virginia.
they have it?
Yeah, it's theirs.
I mean, they lost a good portion of their state during the Civil War. The least you could do is give them
give them the
a
city. back.
tiny little city. That's all it is. I mean, they lost a third of their state. Oh, your boy got called a pierogi by some Americans when they were playing Call of Duty. Pierogi's kind of funny.
Not a euro. I
Uh,
like myself some euros.
I mean, yeah, that's just Guido is Italian. Okay, they also call him Goop. All right, now what are we doing? This was not supposed to turn in
To what
a-
racial slurs
how
do we
many-
know?
How many slanders of foreigners can we come up with?
Mick.
Yeah. The U.S. is the most naturally defendable place on earth. Like, I actually saw.
yeah, we've got.
There's a billion videos on YouTube. If you haven't gone and watched one of the videos on YouTube about how our natural defenses make it almost impossible to take us over,
Yeah,
they're incredible. Like
you talk about like invading Russia and how large it is.
They don't
The
have
United
our,
States. They
the,
don't.
the
Russia doesn't have a
waterways,
desert.
the setups, the everything. We have everything.
We've got deserts, we've got mountains, we've got rivers, we've got jungles.
which is
You've got
why
everything you got to go
really
through.
we're too big and should split into 5 to 7 different countries.
Plus,
based on geographic
we only
area.
border 2 other countries, Canada and Mexico, neither of which
Well, until we take over
one or the other, because apparently that's something we want to do. I hope not.
Maybe.
I'm not fighting any wars. I had cancer and I'm old.
Move the capital to Fargo.
There you go.
I like that.
I like it. This is a good show,
Yeah.
and it's a good movie.
And nobody does North Carolina. Yeah, okay. North Carolina has beaches, which is true.
They have beaches? I mean, yeah, obviously they're on the coast,
Of course
but
they have
like
beaches.
they're not good beaches.
You
though,
think
right?
of South Carolina for the beaches. If you're going to beaches on the Carolinas, you're going to
If you're going to
what
the
is
beach
it,
on the
Myrtle
East Coast,
Beach.
you're going to like
Yeah, it's
right?
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is where you're going if you're going to the Carolinas. At least as a,
I forget that North Carolina
Basic.
exists.
I actually do too.
What is a city in North Carolina?
Asheville. Asheville is the only one that I know. Well, Charlotte.
What's the capital?
Charlotte? No. Damn it.
What's the Animaniac song?
I'm-
Somebody sing it.
It's
This is really
United States-
embarrassing
no,
for a History
Baton
Channel. We don't
Rouge,
know the capital of
Louisiana,
North
Indianapolis,
Carolina.
Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio. There's Montgomery, Alabama, South Carolina, Montana, Colorado, Boise, Idaho, Texas. All right.
Somebody's
I
got
don't
it in
know.
the comments.
Bismarck.
That is a dumb...
That's North Dakota.
Is it?
Yeah, Charlotte is the capital. Thank
Oh,
you.
Charlotte.
I
Okay.
thought so.
There
I
you go.
thought you put you. All right. I
They have a
said it.
basketball team, don't they, with the fucking Bumblebee?
The Charlotte Hornets.
It's a Bumblebee.
Yes. It's a hornet.
It's a Bumblebee.
They're not the same. They're actually very different. And you can kill hornets. You can't kill bumblebees. We need them. Hornets are they pollinate, but not that they're aggressive. They can sting multiple times. They're not as
Johnny
good.
likes bugs and animals.
Bees. You can.
We've
you
hit
need
his
them.
autism.
We save the bees. That's
Save the
all I'm
bees.
saying.
I want honey.
Andy Griffith. How? Okay. Okay.
What's Andy Griffith?
Mm.
I have watched that show,
Yes,
but that's an
but
old show. We're old, but that's
How
old for us.
old do you suspect I just turned? I just had a birthday. Which birthday do you think it may have been? I did watch Andy Griffith when I stayed home from school.
Yeah, when you're sick.
Like if
Or when I had
Price
to go
is
to my
Right was
parents'
over or
friend's
whatever.
house, and Green Acres is what I remember a lot of, like watching in black and white. Like,
See, I never.
when we
never
got
did watch
babysat
Green
by the
Acres.
neighbors, like he'd always put like Green Acres or Andy Griffith on. Yeah.
Raleigh, North Carolina. It's Raleigh. It's not Charlotte. It is Raleigh.
Is Charlotte even in North Carolina? I'm thinking Charlotte's not in North Carolina, Johnny. I don't think Charlotte's a thing in North Carolina. Google that shit. Geography is not our
Charlotte's
strong
North
suit.
Carolina.
To be fair, Johnny's kid and I had a conversation about
It is Raleigh, North
Buffalo
Carolina.
being in New York, and
Okay.
he's like, Buffalo's not in New York because they would be called the New York
Well,
Sabres,
that's
not
not
the
me.
Buffalo Sabres. No, that was your son. I was telling him like,
Oh.
this is we
Okay,
don't
I'm
know
like, whoa,
we
I
don't
know
geography.
that. I was better than that though. Okay.
What is the capital?
It is Raleigh.
Where's Charlotte at?
It's in North Carolina. We're good.
Oh, is
We're
it?
good.
Oh,
We're
okay,
right.
it's fine. All right. But is
Are
that
we gonna
what-
watch the Tyson Jake Paul fight tonight? It
Oh, by the
starts
way, thank you
soon.
for everybody watching us. We are the pre-show for the Tyson.
Yeah, we
Jake
are
Paul
leading
fight.
up into it for you, hoping to get you hyped for either a staged WWE style fight between an entertaining Mike Tyson and some YouTube kid, or watching somebody die because Mike Tyson is going to murder him because Mike Tyson is a psychopath real fighter and Jake Paul wants to play at being a boxer. We're not going to watch it. No, after this we're going to go camp and continue to drink. And we're going to go do this just back there where our tents are instead of here. I'm not sure Jake Paul is going to have a head, let alone 2 ears. His head might have multiple ears remaining on it, which would be disappointing, but not unlikely. But his head being attached to his body is less likely, I think.
He's a 60-year-old man, though, so I don't know, man.
I don't care. Have you seen
He fights.
him hit anything? Have you seen him punch
He
a
did.
thing?
We did have to suspend or postpone the fight because the dude had an ulcer that exploded or some shit like that on a plane.
Yeah. Have you seen him punch a thing?
Yeah, it doesn't look.
Do you want to be punched by that?
No, I don't want to get punched
No.
by anybody though.
No, but it's
And surprisingly, regardless of what my mouth is, I've been punched by very few people.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Not giving Jake money. That's not why I'm not gonna watch it. I don't typically do pay-per-view.
It's not
fights
pay-per-view,
or
it's just
things.
Netflix.
Is it? Well, in
Yeah,
any
Netflix
case.
picked it up. It's just a Netflix
Okay.
show.
Well,
I don't think you even have to pay extra for it. I think it's just
oh,
Netflix.
well, how about that? Well, it just doesn't pique my interest enough.
I don't follow boxing.
They're not good people. Is all.
What, boxers?
No.
Or
The Paul. Jake Paul.
Yeah, I
Logan Paul,
don't follow the physical. The physical fighting thing isn't something that I ever got into.
Were we
Boxing
camera
or
shy
MMA or any of that.
when we started making YouTube videos? I don't know if you've noticed. I haven't looked at the camera more than 3 or 4 times this whole time.
That's autism. Neither have I. That's autism.
So
There's a lot of people who are like, "What? Where are you looking at? On my shorts?" I get this a lot. What are you looking at? I'm not looking at the camera, not because there's a teleprompter off. I can't afford that. It's autism.
I know Jake and Paul are both. I know they're different. I still don't.
They're two people.
Yeah. Well, Jake Paul. There's the Jake. Jake and Logan Paul are 2 different people. They're brothers or something.
Sure.
Right, and then one's a boxer. One went into a suicide force in Japan or something. I could have all of this wrong. I don't know. Am I way off?
Ooh, speaking of Japan, this is random ADHD moment. The TV show Shogun, fucking watch
Is it good?
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I'm not gonna watch
The book
it.
Shogun is also phenomenal.
I'd like
Read
to
that.
say I'm gonna watch it, but I know I'm not going to.
It's got the
because
same dude from Last Samurai in it.
No, I know. I just don't watch things.
Who's also the same dude as that's in Ghost of Tsushima.
But anyway, no. I'm not camera shy because I don't ever rewatch it because I can't stand to watch myself back on camera.
I do all the editing and I have to rewatch it all.
I couldn't do that. I did for a little bit. I tried to help with it, and
It's rough.
I couldn't watch it.
When I say it's a one-man show, it's a lot of it's a one-man show.
No, he means like 100%. I am literally 2 to 3% of the show. Only in that I am on the screen for a certain amount of time. That's it. Like, it is not my show at all. I'm still going to purchase the extra plaque should we ever get to 100K in what 7 8 years.
It's not. It's just. Is it 100?
It's 100K.
100K. Yeah.
100K.
Get us to 100,000. Tell
yeah.
your friends. Buy people to pay to watch us. You don't have to watch us. Just hit the subscribe button. It's like a lifetime goal.
You all know you have 3 to 4 Google accounts.
All of you Google it up.
They could
Jump them.
Each account.
Bump the numbers up.
Each account could subscribe to us. It was actually our first 8 or 9 subscribers
Were our Google
were
accounts.
us. with all my different accounts. I had to remember so many passwords. It was insane. Yeah, they're just both kind of jerks.
I don't.
That's fine, I get
I'm
that.
tangentially
All right,
aware
all
that
right.
they're like YouTubers or TikTokers or
all
something.
right, we're off of them. A tier list of your favorite and least favorite presidents. I don't have an opinion on that yet because I'm learning about all of them through our wonderful series. Which is this a typo? Is this supposed to be called Dark President or President Dark Tweets?
Yeah, President's dark tweets.
Why?
Because they're dark tweets.
They don't tweet.
It's because it's like the
And
things
Twitter's not even a thing anymore.
It's. Oh God.
It's
yeah.
X.
Well, we started this when Twitter was. Like, leave me alone, man.
All right. Anyway,
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't have a favorite president. I don't know.
Grant is horribly, horribly
There are
underrated
bad
as a president.
ones.
I think a lot of his negativity comes from lost cause bullshit, Reconstruction, post-Reconstruction. There was a lot of corruption in his administration. Don't get me wrong, but
Yes,
like,
we're still
a lot of
taking
his
questions,
bad stuff
please.
was
We need stuff to talk about.
propaganda.
Sorry.
Huh?
Sorry, somebody asked if we're still taking questions. We are.
Yeah, take all the questions. Yeah,
please.
anything. Is a hot dog a taco? Yes. I don't know.
No, I don't want to
Whatever.
do that. But no, we. I guess after we do our
The
series,
worst. Okay, so the worst
we
president.
could come up
yeah,
with a.
We'll
list.
do that. For
a
me,
ranking.
worst president is probably Woodrow Wilson.
It's got to be, right? Woodrow Wilson's our top. He's like our 3rd worst person in the world.
Lincoln is overrated. I put him actually towards the bottom. I don't
I
even
think-
know if I have a
all
good
right,
president. John Quincy Adams is one of the ones that was hard to actually, up to this
Oh,
point,
yeah.
John Quincy Adams was one of the harder ones to actually find anything
Yeah.
bad about in his personal life.
Well, okay, which is to say, John Quincy Adams himself was not a horrible person
He wasn't a slave owner.
outwardly
Yeah.
that anybody knows of.
Mainly, it wasn't he wasn't a slave owner. He didn't do the Aliens and Sedition Act.
Good night,
that's
you
it.
boy. Thanks for hanging out for so long. Where
What
can
ti-
I find more accounts from that expedition or whatever it's called?
The what expedition? What?
Which Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Leavenworth, Nebraska to North Dakota was done for what was done to Hugh Glass. I'm trying to figure.
Are you
I
asking
think
about
I'm
it?
going back.
Because I'm a little inebriated. That's not ringing any bells.
Dude, the video I've been somebody's trying to send a video, I guess, about Buffalo during the Edo. Cold black coffee. I am having a difficult time getting at what you were talking about. I'm sorry. So, will you support my campaign for president in 2028? I think after seeing your recent electoral history, I've got a shot. You are going to have some competition, Dark Lord Sauron.
Oh, is it the dark? Is it the
It
actual
is the
Lord
actual-
of the Rings Dark Lord Sauron
Yes,
running for
it is-
president?
yes.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, he will have some competition though.
Well, yeah, but I'm still voting for him.
Okay. President Trump's going to be running for his third term.
Yes, but Dark Lord Sauron
So,
wins.
Absolutely, hands
He's
down.
got my vote.
For sure.
As long as it's the Dark Lord Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
As long as you
The fucking CGI
promise
guy.
to vanquish at least half? At least half of the current population.
Yeah,
I think
please
that'd
do that. Yeah, that's fine
Just
with me.
who is that?
Just-
Thanos.
That's Thanos that did
That
the
guy.
boop.
You wanna
Is
go-
Thanos really that bad of a guy? Can we just say, like, would it really be that bad if, like, half of humanity just snap a boop? I don't like it being random, though, because there are some people that you could probably, like, selectively.
I see the problem. Cold black coffee. I can't see what video you're sending. No links are coming through. It's just chat, and we don't know how to do anything other than what we're doing right now because we are not good at this.
We are old.
And so I think you're trying to send us something and ask questions about it, and I don't
Use
have access.
words in the text to ask
No,
me
they are.
But,
It's just,
but like no,
it's
but
just,
like not like video. Like what is it on the video? Is it like a gun related? Is it?
I
like
got. Oh
history related?
no. His staffers are looking for the One Ring,
Huh?
and once he has it, is when he's gonna. I have bad news.
They got through in the volcano.
Yeah, little Hobbit
Little Hobbit yeeted that.
fucked
with
all that
Gollum.
up for you, bud.
Yeah, it's gone.
I wish I weren't the one to tell you.
There's a series of movies that are out about that you
Yeah.
can watch.
Yeah, I
They're
think
not
that
even
it-
new.
Was
It's
it?
not
I
even
think
a
it was
spoiler.
the one. Was it the one?
The one.
Or was it the one? Just one? Was it just one?
The one ring to rule them all.
I don't know. I've
One
not seen
ring
that.
to bind
I've
us.
not seen that movie in far too long.
I actually recently watched them this year.
Did you?
Just for shits and giggles.
Just-
I was bored at work.
Okay. Yeah. Well. See, I don't work, and so I don't have time to watch movies like that.
We got questions. Or
I
at
don't
least
think we do.
things jumping up. Well, how long have we been doing this?
We've been going. Geez, a while.
This was supposed to be a short one.
Yep.
Hey, but we're interacting.
We're doing good. Yeah.
Fans.
And
And community.
An amount of time, maybe. Oh yeah, like an hour.
oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can keep
That's
going for a
all.
little bit.
That's not too long.
As long as we got questions rolling, we'll keep going.
Doc Mario, yeah, I mean, I don't
Within
know
reason.
If I need another.
Yeah.
This. I don't know if we have any more questions. I think people might be bored of us. I don't know. Are there episodes? Anybody? Is there like we used to? So we used to ask for recommendations on episodes, and then we realized nobody was watching our videos to the end. And
Yeah.
what was the point
Oh,
in asking
I'm just gonna
for
say
something?
for the currently 10 people that are still in this room as of right now, at the second that I'm saying it, the video that's gonna be dropping probably tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Maybe you want to watch it till all the way to the end. It is a video on the dude from the Civil War. Was it Smalls?
Yes.
Smalls.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic dude.
Yeah, Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls. Watch that one. and then maybe you want to watch it all the way to the end. It might be a surprise for the first person who watches it all the way to the end. Just saying. You did something at the very end. You were very inebriated. You promised something.
To remember.
You promised something at the very end to the first person to comment on it at the very end.
Okay.
There might be a passphrase.
Maybe
it might be our first. It might be a giveaway of some sorts. Who knows?
Hard to say. I will have to watch it to the very end.
You commenting doesn't count, or any of your fake accounts.
Oh damn it! I've got a lot. You don't know all of them.
Well, you know.
The YouTube plane crash that almost resulted in World War III. Will we do an episode on it?
I have no idea what that is. The YouTube plane crash?
YouTube plane crash that almost resulted in
Oh,
World
the
War
YouTube.
III.
Like the band YouTube.
U2, yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I'll look it up. Sure, why not? Fuck it.
Almost.
I do want to do a video on the guy who committed suicide tragically. Like, he stole a plane, hijacked it, he was doing all kinds of flips and shit. And he was like, my mom's going to be real mad about this. And then, like, just ditched it into... I do want to do a video on that.
Why did the Winchester become so iconic? Or was it only because of Hollywood?
Oh, no. It legitimately, the Winchester line of firearms were very, very popular and sold very widely for a century.
Was it just marketing? Did they just have a stranglehold on the market, or were they just producing the best guns, or the most affordable, or what?
So in 1866, post-Civil War, in 1866, and the 1873, specifically the 1873, you have, when it really takes off, is when Colt decides to chamber their 1873 and the 4440 along with the Winchester. Those pairing together, perfect for everybody. It's just it's a fast action. It's a simple action. It is relatively affordable. Winchester now is not what it used to be.
Yeah, well, probably
but yes,
everybody had it, right? Like, it was.
If you're thinking pro Civil War, I want one gun to do it all. The Winchester lever action, man, it's the one gun that does it all. It's like the AR of its day. Mass-produced, affordable. There's not really the Marlins weren't. I love Marlins. They have a stronger action. They were able to have a bigger cartridge, but like.
Is it the first non-military gun to be famous? I mean, almost have to be, I guess, right?
I don't. Like, what's describing famous?
I think just a household brand name, like.
Well, I mean, you got the Kentucky long rifles,
and not a Diet Right, a Diet Coke, a Diet Pepsi.
I mean, when you think of lever gun, you think of Winchester. I can get behind it. I don't know for sure. I'd say it's the first really popular all over, but like, yeah, I get behind it. The only other competitive, at least in the United States, might be a Pennsylvania or Kentucky long rifle. That would be the only other maybe competitive version. But
if somebody wants recommendations on history channels to watch in their free time,
Cynical Historian. Atunche Films, the vignettes that In Range TV does, those are phenomenal. There's a dude with the hat, he does little cartoon guys. What is his name? Simply History or Simplicity History or something like that. That guy's fun. I like him.
Ancient Aliens.
Fuck off.
Have you watched Mr. Beat or Knowing Better?
No, I haven't. I'll check him out. Sure.
Either of those. We have paged Dr. Beat.
Yeah, Paige and Dr. Beat. Emergency. I did all my. Oh, I didn't even do all my.
Simple
stuff.
History. Yeah, Simple History.
Simple History. Is that the one? Yeah. That's. I do.
Yeah, those
but
are.
But he only
fun.
comes out with stuff like every couple of months. Like, he is very sparse with this. But of course, he's also hand animation and shit. And he
animate it.
And he gets a bazillion views for every fucking.
God.
Thing he does,
so do you remember the first 4 or 5 months when we did just audio because we thought we were going to be a bigger podcast than YouTube or anything? And you did slideshows.
Do we still do Podbean? We were on Podbean for a while. I don't even know if we still have Podbean. You might want to stop the subscription if we still have that.
I just got to know it's about to renew.
You should probably not.
I will check that
You've
tomorrow.
not uploaded anything to that in forever.
No, not since year one. I paid for 3 years that we've not used. I need to get rid of that.
Yeah, just cancel that shit. We don't use it. Nobody wants to hear us.
Simple history has me scared of Canadians.
They are kind of, well, especially the World War I Canadians. Take war crime to the next level.
Okay, so I think I don't. All right, I'm just gonna say these words to you,
Sure.
and you're gonna go.
All right.
Midwest America, 1788. 30 bison per square mile. Plains tribes continuous 1600 years symbiotic relationship with the bison. I assume you're talking about when we strategically wiped out all of the bison and piled up their skulls just to starve out the Indians. And
Sherman gets a
ruin
lot of
everything for them?
shit for burning Atlanta and his march to the sea, which is March to the Carolinas was worse. Buffalo was him. That was his idea
Worst thing ever.
to starve out the
Not
Indians by
ever,
killing the
but you know what I
buffalo.
mean.
Where we just rode on trains and just shot them for the fuck of it. Actually, it's not even just us shooting the buffalo. The Transcontinental Railroad actually split the Great Buffalo in two, and they wouldn't go over the railroad track, so that actually starved out a bunch of them in and of itself, besides just shooting them off the train. Although the shooting them off the train was...
I think my favorite thing about all of that is when I was taught it in history. I was taught that the natives were mad at us for killing so many bison
Because we're just wasting it?
because we didn't use all of it.
Yeah, we didn't use all
They
of it.
used all of it. We just
didn't
used
use-
some of it.
we
We know
didn't-
we used some of it. We just used some of it, but we used some of it.
So I don't know how to tell you this, Johnny. We just
Tommy?
shot them and let them die and didn't use a
Tom-
fucking thing.
Tommy, they were saying we used some of it in the sense that we used it to kill the Indians.
By starving them out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, but no, they're just like, no, they were mad because they used all of it, and so it was a more sacred thing, and then we just, overhunted. Shucks. Instead of
Yeah, we definitely
very
overhunted.
much on purpose.
Yeah, that was an intentional.
by design.
Yeah.
Because hey,
Fuck those guys.
while the blankets with disease weren't on purpose, boy was that a convenient thing to have happen, to have them just suddenly not be here anymore. And yet their trade routes and cities and clearing lands and farmlands and everything, those are still there for
I
the
had
taking.
people arguing with me that
But,
the natives were still savages. They want roads and infrastructure and cities and... There's a city that's where modern St. Louis is that had 20,000 people in the 14, 15, 1600 when the colonies first arrived. The reason why it doesn't exist? Fucking smallpox!
Okay. Is the M3 Grand superior to the M3 Lee? M3 Grant superior to the M3 Lee and everything?
Oh, the Grant. The Grant.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you said Grand, and I was like, there's no rent.
I did, but that's because my I think I need new context.
The Grant is superior to the Lee, the
every
tanks.
way. Yes, is it? Is it?
I don't
Every way. All of them.
I
Cup
don't know.
holders.
I'm gonna okay. Not the biggest tank guy. I don't know the Grant in the. I can't see it in my head. I can see the Sherman. I can see the Lee. The Lee had that one little swivel gun, the main gun, and then the smaller top gun. I'm gonna go ahead and say probably the Grant because that swivel gun on the front and the top, that was kind of a shit. That was kind of a shit design. It's
The
cool looking.
bison kill off was Sherman's idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure. So verify, but somebody asked. We are drinking, I think, my very first actual case of beer, where it's 24 12-ounce cans, because usually I buy either a 30-pack or IPAs. But it's Yingling Lager.
I'm 5 in.
It's their pandering Stars and Stripes, support the troops can.
Which, by the
what-
way, before
what an
Indiana got
easy- what an
Yingling,
easy
everybody's like,
take.
Yingling's the best domestic beer in the world.
I'm
No, it's
so
not. It's
sick-
shit. But it's okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's not shit. But y'all need to settle down with
It's
it
not.
being so good. It's
okay.
It's fine.
It is a beer.
It's a fine beer. Yes, cold black coffee. That was a problem. Every dead buffalo is a dead native.
Yeah.
That's where I take
A
these.
bit
That's
excessive.
why I'm not happy with it. Water. Good job, you boy. Drink some water.
Water?
Hey, no.
We're not at water yet.
They gotta help their grandma dry places tomorrow. That's what they're drinking.
Oh, they're drinking water.
They're being responsible.
Oh,
because
be
they
responsible. Yes, don't do
They have
this.
stuff to do.
Yeah, don't do this.
Andrew Merrick mirrors that French lady that said, "Let them eat cake."
Oh, the fucking chick that got her head cut off. Let him eat cake. Yeah, it didn't work out for her. What are we doing? Who's marrying
Andrew
that?
Merrick?
Who's that?
I don't know.
People are gonna be mad at me. I believe it or not.
I do remember people saying. I do remember there being something on TikTok about this though, where somebody mentioned. They said something about poor people that was similar to that. I remember seeing that vaguely. Can we have some more context
Is it a modern guy?
for that? Yeah, no, like this is something
I have
that
you.
just
If it's been within the last 10
Caleb,
years. Wow.
Caleb, I know you're saying it's the beers, but they're old prescription. It's been 4 years since I've updated my prescription. Is all I'm saying.
I haven't gone to
Not
an eye
helping,
doctor since I was in high school.
Maybe.
From here to that screen, it looks like just I can't. There's dots.
Okay. Do we play games? And if so, what are your favorite games? I play multiple kinds of games. I play board games with my wife and only one video game right now. I try to play more video games, but I don't. I'm playing Starfield, and I'm a bit obsessed with it. It's dope. I know I'm late to it, but that's all I'm playing. And then board games, we do like Small World, Bunny Kingdom, Scrabble type game, like a lot of games. Bunny Kingdom is pretty great.
I just beat Baldur's Gate 3. It's fucking phenomenal. It's been out for a year, so we're old. I went back to Cyberpunk because I wanted to see if it was any better since its original launch. It is a lot better since the original launch.
I might try it again.
I do recommend going back to that one if you played it and didn't like it and go back to it. They fixed a lot of the there's still glitches galore.
Yeah, that's.
There's
not a game
board
without
games.
glitches anymore.
Hero Quest is always my go-to. I love that game. I don't get enough people to play it with me. They actually had a recent re-release of the game, so it's not so expensive to get it if you're trying to get it now. It used to be like $200, $300 to get that because it was an old '90s board game.
Have you ever drank vodka?
Yeah, I do it in screwdrivers all the time.
I'm strictly beer now, and actually not the last time I drank liquor, but the last time I drank liquor exclusively, it was vodka, and it was in college, and I had gotten to.
You drank vodka in college?
So I got back to a group back at Ogla, and they were getting ready to go somewhere else, and I wanted to go with them, but they had all been drinking, and I'm like, I'm gonna play catch up, and I
Okay.
did 5
So you drank vodka
shots
once.
of vodka.
There you go.
And then I couldn't ride my bike, and I remember the way to the party that we were headed to, and I remember waking up in the morning, and then I stopped drinking liquor.
I am the liquor drinker between the two of us. If you like vodka, Sobieski is my vodka of choice.
Oh, how much, I guess, money did the U.S. have after 1865, the Civil War? Were they able to afford to pay the nation annuities?
We were bankrupt.
Yeah, war will do
We
that.
had no money.
It's so funny how war is so good for the companies and so bad for the country.
Yeah, we had nothing. We were bankrupt. There's a reason when we're like, oh, the Civil War is over. We learned that breech loading cartridge guns are the way of the future. We can't afford a new one. We'll just saw off the back end and put a little trap on it. That'll do it.
Yeah, why not?
And there's a reason why that was the system that we used from 1865 until 1892.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion from Cassandra: all beer is terrible. It's not that unpopular, and a lot of it's bad. I
Johnny
enjoy
likes the
it.
soap beers.
I like IPAs. I don't know. I get why people think it's bad. I had to force myself to drink several before I liked them.
When you get older,
And you have to do that.
for anything.
It's not bad.
It's for anything.
Yeah, it means it's not a very good thing. Like
The
it's
first person who drinks whiskey isn't going to
anybody-
go like, that was delicious. I want another. Like they go,
anything that's an acquired taste means I like the effect more than I like the taste, and I'm willing to put up with the taste for the effect. And then eventually, your body tells you, because you're just a stupid little brain piloting a meat skeleton, that hey, when you have this taste, good things happen, and so you start to like that taste. We're all Pavlov's dog, right? Favorite Christmas movie?
Like
Don't say Die Hard.
no, I'm not gonna. So
Mine's Elf.
there's the stupid choices
I like
like
Elf.
Die Hard and The Gremlins, but I will say
Nope.
my favorite, actual, legitimately Santa Claus is in it. The fucking Fat Man. I love it. It tickles my fancy. It is.
haven't seen
It is.
it.
Oh, it's Mel Gibson
Would I not
playing
like
a.
it?
No, it's well. I don't know. It's very violent and it's funny.
Oh,
It's Mel Gibson as Santa Claus, who's like just grizzled and hates everything, and then a kid doesn't get the Christmas present he wants, so he puts a hit out on Santa Claus, and then Santa goes on a murdering spree. It's fucking. I love it. Or Elf. We
oh.
lost the light.
Yeah, I can fix that. I think maybe.
What are you hit it? Or were you
No, I think the battery might have died on it.
Uh-oh. Well, the battery's dead. We're done.
There's a power button on the side. No, other side. Down by the base. Down to the base. Down to the base. On the side, right there. Push those buttons.
It's dead.
It's dead. Okay.
You know what? That's a good sign. That's a good sign. We still
I mean,
got a little bit of light.
we still have enough light right now that we're good until that light goes out, and then we're probably not good anymore. Yeah, Settler of Catan. That's a good game. I played it a couple of times. It is hard to find people to play
for
board games
the
with.
board game. Board games are hard to find people to play.
My
board
wife
games.
and I have found there are a lot of 2-player board games that are really good. Raiders of the North Sea is one of them that we really like to play.
Key to the Kingdom. That's an old school game I loved.
Warhammer. I've heard of Warhammer.
Warhammer's the little miniatures that you're gonna go broke trying to do it. And
That seems like
it looks really cool, but I know I would just fucking wreck myself financially and like time wise on it.
That feels like a very expensive hobby.
I hit the button, man. It's not.
I'm gonna just pop it out real quick.
Oh, you got the other one that's over there.
Yeah.
Johnny's switching batteries for a light. If you're still hanging out and talking with us, we still got 9 people in here. 9 people in here. Could you imagine being like? That's not a lot of people, but like, stop for a second and think about like sitting in a room with 9 other people that are just listening to you get drunk and talk.
I'd rather not.
It's a little awkward.
I love all of you people.
But I love all you people because I can't see all you people.
Yeah, so I think Tommy's actually less camera shy than person shy.
Oh yeah, camera all day long.
Yeah, if you all were actually here, he would not say a word the
Nope.
entire night.
Well, that's not true. If I knew you a little
After
bit,
you had a couple beers, you'd be
then
fine.
that would be fine. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, you see, I run away for a second, and then we get behind. U.S. government didn't have enough to pay the Sioux Nation. It owed annuities, leading to Sioux uprising.
Yep. Yeah.
If they did have enough, they wouldn't have anyway.
The Lakota Wars and the Civil War started because we stopped feeding them because we had a war going on. We couldn't feed them anymore, and they got starving. So they went off reservation and started raiding, and then war. Yeah. All the Indian Wars happened because the white man fucked them over.
Have you seen Violent Night?
No, I
Disney
haven't
Die
seen.
Hard Santa Claus with John McClane.
I've not
Home
seen.
Alone. Yeah.
Home Alone's
Home Alone's
okay. I
good.
watch it every year. I watch Home Alone every year.
I think
watch
what it is those classic, like the Christmas Story.
National Lampoon's Christmas.
Yes,
yeah,
they're
I watch them all.
fantastic.
I watch them all.
But literally every Christmas for the past 40 years, I've been seeing them, and so they're good. But I get it. You know, I don't know.
Something about Mel Gibson carrying a
Brett-
walker in a fucking 1911 and shooting people as Santa Claus.
Yeah, Brett, I hear you, and that's why we originally wanted to start a podcast
What is
and not do it on YouTube. You said we look better without the light. We understand. We have faces for radio.
Oh,
but it
hurtful.
turns out
We don't have
YouTube.
voices for radio.
When we
either.
started this on YouTube, we were getting tens of views per video, and on Podbean, we were getting 1s to 2s of views per or listens per
Yeah.
podcast. So it was this is where we ended up. I listened to the whole memoirs of U.S. Grant. It sounds like if it were not for the Midwest, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, the country would have probably let the South leave. What is...
So
what?
yes, okay.
What does that mean?
So the memoirs of Grant are great. And it does give you a very much like people think, oh, the Confederates were winning in the war, which they fucking weren't because of the West. Grant forced a lot of Union movement in the West when they didn't want it, like the Fort Henry and Fort Donelson. Like Grant did that without orders, and it actually kind of pissed off the higher brass. Him taking over the Mississippi, like that's Grant won the war in the West without a doubt. Yeah.
Have you ever played Total War games?
Oh, it's my favorite genre of computer games. Yes.
Yeah, I never
all
played
of
the
them.
Total War.
Shogun Total War. I've playing a lot.
Oh,
I've
you told me
recently
about that
played
one,
a ton of that, especially the expansion that came out where it lets you be like United States, France, or England, like in that genre. It's like watching the movie Last Samurai, but I get to play it. I get to
Is
be
it Age of Empire-esque?
No, but
No.
yes, it's a real time strategy. But like, so you've got your risk map, like like you would
You
think
control
of risk.
your armies, or
But then when you
whatever,
actually go into the battle mode, it goes into real time fighting,
and you're
just controlling all the you're controlling all the army. You're like the general who's moving the troops around
Okay, so
for the battles.
yeah,
It's fun,
a little bit like Age of Empires.
but you're not like it's not like you're not like farming resources like the little guys. You're, not,
you're
like, building houses
you're
and
just
stuff.
doing war because it's Total War
What? But you.
and taking over shit.
So like you have the province like when
Yeah.
you're on the
I
risk
get it,
map.
I get the game.
You get
I
like
get
you
it,
got to build
yeah.
like you're like I'm gonna I'm gonna build a military school.
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm gonna build a
I don't do that on
fucking.
Risk.
You're gonna build a fucking tea house.
It sounds.
It's a phenomenal game. The
It
Total
sounds
War's-
like you're
Total War's
splitting
some of my
hairs, and
favorites.
it's the same type of game.
It's same.
Half of Tennessee was an open rebellion of the Confederacy
Oh, yeah,
when the
yeah.
war began, and had to be suppressed by a military occupation. So I don't think the South would have gotten off that easy.
No,
they're
so,
responding
so
to
they
the-
are there are so these fucking lost causes were had to believe the entirety of the South was like yay rebellion, but like half of Tennessee was like fuck this shit, half of Virginia was like fuck this shit and actually did secede. Missouri, Kentucky did not secede from the Union, despite whatever bullshit you want to hear them say. They had both. They said, no, we don't want to do that. And then the losers went. So, you know.
Which it turns out, like, yeah. When
You
people
had-
when people just say, no, I'm going to do something anyway, sometimes you just let them.
You
It's
had,
really weird to
in
me.
all the border states that the South thought would join them, you had more border state Union troops than you had Southern troops by a fuck ton. You, in fact, had more Union troops coming out of Kentucky, Missouri, Delaware, Maryland than you actually had that like Union troops lost through the entirety of the war. We could have replaced every single person we lost in the Civil War with just people we got from the South.
Say that again? What?
We got more people from the border states in the South, like to join the
join
Union,
the Union
to
troops.
fight against the Confederacy, than we lost in the war in its entirety.
Okay.
So we could have replaced every single one of our numbers with Southerners.
I mean, it does make sense that border states are going to send a bunch of troops up, like, because if you're in Georgia and you're a Union supporter or whatever, all right, you're in Georgia, you're just gonna sit down.
You're going to
deal
sit down
with
and be
it.
quiet, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
If
they
you're
were, but
in,
see, there were still,
no, that
yes,
but
I
most
got
of
you.
the people. But it's a lot easier if you're in Kentucky, Tennessee, whatever, to be like,
one
you
way
know,
or the
F
other.
this, like I'm gonna go up to the next state up and fight for them because this is bullshit, and I don't want to, die because some rich person wants to own people. Or, for states' rights.
We had a stack of stuff like pop
How
up.
do you guys feel about the president sitting down with a guy he spent the last year calling a threat to democracy and having a nice, normal dinner with him like it's no big deal? I will
Again,
tell
modern
you all
politics.
about that in 15 to 20 years. As of right now, I have no thoughts or opinions on it because I don't know what you're talking about because
It's not history.
I am sad about where this country could be heading, and I'm just concentrate on my bubble here, and hope that I don't have to learn how to farm the land that I bought.
I will say that the transition of power should operate as peacefully as possible, as democratically as possible. Nice little pleasant meals and handshakes, which did not necessarily occur in the last transition.
What happened in the last transition of power?
That didn't happen.
Just kidding. I don't give a damn. What's your next big video project?
What do you mean video? Like a video or like big video project? Big.
I don't know. I guess we'll shoot more guns. We'll do that. That'll be
big.
that.
Big video project like a Civil War in
ones.
hindsight or something like that. That'll be spanning.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. A channel.
But
thing.
that's gonna be that's a year plus. That's February of 26 when that one comes out. We'll have another like playlist come out between then. I'm sure.
Like 42.
Something. We still got to get through presidents.
41.
We still got to get through the Civil War. We've got Reconstruction. Reconstruction. That's probably the next ish biggish one.
And we're in the middle of the presidents. We might go a little heavier into the presidents.
Is there guns you guys want to see me shoot
Probably.
or learn about?
I'll bet there's guns. Tommy, they want to see the guns they don't know. They want to know. They see. You know what I mean? Like.
I've shown some odd shit, man. I don't know.
Like they could go out and they can see anybody shoot fucking AK-76, whatever, you know.
Not a thing, but sure.
Shooting those 45 Ultra Mags.
We won't shoot modern guns because that's not us. We don't. That's not That's not me.
Yeah, it's Reconstruction. I think is the answer. You're
probably Reconstruction. Yeah.
For. Oh, so hey, they asked a question in the comments, never got an answer. Way to go, idiot!
What?
You didn't answer a question in the comments.
What? I can't see them from here.
Where did the Union get their blue uniforms? Did we have to outsource to like France?
No.
Like we did in the War for Independence?
No, these are so.
Also, it wasn't as uniform as just we had blue uniforms.
Yeah.
You
go there. You do your thing. So Civil War. At the start of the war, there was gray and blue were both very uniform colors, not necessarily north, south, east, or west. 11th Indiana started off with gray uniforms. Those were just the two most commonish dyes that we had. Even back to the Mexican-American War, we had troops that were volunteer and regular troops that were in gray and blue. Obviously, as the war starts and we've got troops in both colors, it gets kind of fucking confusing as to who's on whose side. Battle of Bull Run, you get like the whole that part of the reason why the Confederates won is because there was a Virginia unit all in blue that was charging down, and they thought it must be us because they're kind of in blue, and that seems like a thing, despite them coming from the opposite direction. So there was a general transition during the war where the Union said you have to have blue. Like, it doesn't matter, red kepis, gray kepis, pink kepis, the jacket, come on, guys, like, blue. We don't care if it's, like, red piping, blue, whatever ridiculousness that we want, blue. So that was about as standard as the North got, was that we wanted the jackets to be blue. We didn't import them from France. They were domestic produced. Eventually, as the war kicks off and we get going on with all that production, the Confederacy, they actually tried to start standardizing on butternut, but then they didn't have enough of the the nuts that made that dye, so then they switched up. And then as the war progresses, they get to more actually, like by 1865, most of the uniforms are like a dirty, unbleached cotton.
Cause you talking about how they used to shoot at each other? Because they
yeah, we did. Yeah, I did that part. The United States military did not have a standard uniform until the Dick Act, which comes about after the Spanish Am War.
In World War II, when Germans were taking, I assume, Iceland, were any of them privy to the dime store novels depicting native warriors?
Maybe. Why would Iceland have our dime store novels? Maybe, probably. I don't fucking know. That's an I don't know. Believe it or not, don't know everything.
Who do you guys think will be playing in the Super Bowl based on the current standings? It's got to be Chiefs 49ers. again?
Chiefs
know.
Detroit.
Oh yeah, Detroit's really good. It's gonna be
I
Detroit.
think Detroit's making it this year.
Yeah,
I think Detroit's
I
got
don't. I don't think they're going to. I think they should. I think they have a right to. I think as an organization, if they lived, if that team existed in any other city, they would be. But it's Detroit, and so they will be out the first round of the playoffs.
Well, they made it to the NFC Championship last year.
I know, but this year
And
they
they
have
should have
so many,
fucking. They got
so many
21.
expectations.
Like,
They're
how'd
Detroit.
you just fuck that up?
It's Detroit. Why is Rutgers number one? Why is they did football, and now you see my beer contest.
You want Rutger?
Why is the Ruger number one so expensive? It doesn't even have a breech cover like the Martini Henry.
What the? I'm not picturing the Ruger number one. I know the Rugers. I know Ruger guns.
Is it expensive?
The number one, I'm not picturing in the Martini Henry. That's the lever. Is there a? Believe it or not, I don't know everything about all the firearms. Shocking. Know a lot about random firearms, but not everything. And I'm not thinking of the Ruger that you're specifically talking about. Is it a rolling block? No, the rolling block's Remington.
This is a fun little conversation you're having out loud.
With myself in my own head. Yeah.
Hey, you ever
I
shot a
failed you.
Draeger?
The what?
Draeger, Draeger.
No.
No.
You got one? You want me to borrow?
Is that a thing? As a gun?
Sure.
It's not the like a Skyrim bad guy.
What is it? I gotta look at the
I think that's a bad guy in Skyrim.
Draeger. No. No.
Oh.
No. Johnny's never shot anything.
I've
Johnny
not
doesn't
shot
shoot.
that. I don't.
He
like
shot
shooting
like
guns.
2 or 3 guns that I've given him to shoot and forced him to shoot,
It's
but he's
fine.
not.
That's
That's
not for me.
his thing. And in all honesty, for me, like it's one of those juxtapositions. I like firearms. Hey, great Second Amendment. Do all your gun rights, all that stuff. I don't like a lot of the gun community.
How many musket balls are still stuck in trees?
Oh God! Well.
It's 862,764.
There you go. It's got to be like the trees that are still alive that were during the Civil War. But yeah, there's got to be a couple.
So my question, I had a similar question, is how many trees were shot down during the Civil War via cannon or just volleys of musket fire or whatever?
Tons.
Because Tommy came over and shot at a tree for an afternoon.
We chopped
poorly, and he shot it down.
Down,
volleys, they they had to have been mowing trees down.
I did the other random story. One of the reenacting groups I have belonged to, whatever. We have a 10-pound parrot. We fired it live and hit a tree with one round, and it topped that pine tree down in one shot. So
the ice is not Iceland. When they were asking about the Germans, when they were taking meth. Were they privy to the dime store knowledge?
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't think they cared. I think they were mostly just wanting to kill
meth.
things. And
Yeah, they were on meth.
They wanted more of it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to.
It was called First off, not meth. It was
pervitine.
Pervitine. We got a thing on that.
Yeah.
We did a Nazis on meth.
Yes. Okay. All right. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you for that.
I was confused about Iceland. I was like, I didn't want to say I don't think they took Iceland, but like maybe they did. Like I don't fucking know.
Depicting Native American warriors. Yeah. No. Yeah. We're not sure. A Draeger is a drive rig, not a gun. It's a question often asked to suspected phonies to test them. It's a Navy SEAL thing. So they were testing us to see if it's just a Navy SEAL thing. We're not we don't know.
I had cancer. I can't join the military, and I'm definitely not going to go join. I have two fears of dying: drowning and burning. And in the Navy, that's like 100% guaranteed that it's going to be one or both at the same
Probably
fucking
both.
time. No.
I think Cold Black Coffee was trying to put Pervitin was the name, but it kept just auto-correcting to Perv.
Yeah.
Do you know that scene in Breaking Bad where Jesse thinks the Mormons on bikes are hardcore bikers? I've not seen all of it. I've seen some of it.
So I've actually recently rewatched Breaking Bad, and yeah, I've fucking... Oh, Jesse Pinkman.
Do you think that Coca-Cola will add cocaine back to their formula with a new FDA director, RFK Jr.?
It is
no.
no. Hold on.
No.
Hold on. It is natural, and RFK is all about those forever chemicals, and
No.
cocaine is not a forever chemical.
Absolutely not.
I do have to also spoil it for you.
Only-
Just the cocoa plant, like the it's not like they're taking the refined cocaine and they're like, here's
No, it's
cocaine in my
cacao.
Coke.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not the same.
No. Also, it would cut far too much into profits.
Yeah.
Coke is already plenty.
We
addictive.
don't have sugar in Coke anymore because fucking corn is cheaper.
They already got shit plenty addictive. They don't need to add cocaine back into it. Maybe they did. The natives in World War II have a field day.
What do you mean a field day?
They're saying the natives had a field day.
Like where we went out and did sack races and three-legged races.
Maybe not that
and
kind of
like
field day.
punt, pass, and kick field day.
Weren't they mostly just code breakers and translators and stuff?
Oh, that's a sad story.
Well, yeah, of course.
We used and abused the Navajo.
Did we? What? We were bad to the natives?
We also so this is even worse.
shit.
So technically, like the reason why we use Navajo as opposed to like the Cherokee or the Chippewa or the Lakota, the Navajo didn't have a written language, so it made it that much harder to like break the code. If that makes sense.
Sorry. Do you think any of the Union Army's deaths from disease was via poisoning water or food or some sort of deliberate act of
Oh, they didn't
bioweapons?
actually have to poison the water. The cholera was already there because we were shitting upstream and didn't understand that. Like
Yeah.
the health.
I think when people come up with ideas like that, they take today's sensibilities into the past and say, "Hey, we understand why we're getting sick from drinking water or why everybody's having diarrhea that drank from a well or whatever." And mostly they didn't know the specifics. I'm sorry, everybody. You were going to see my wife calling me for a second. What's I.
Just yell and I can hear it from here.
I'm sorry. My wife's calling. I don't know what's going on.
What are we doing?
I don't know. My wife's trying to call, and I don't know why.
Why wouldn't she just come out here?
I wish I could tell you. Anyway, sorry about that. No, I don't think it was deliberate. In short.
No, there's no. They didn't understand disease enough to understand that, and we had enough just problems with clean water. And go camping with like 20 dudes for like a week. See which one of y'all gets sick. One of y'all is, and that's even with modern understanding.
If you could travel back in time and give one modern weapon to Grant, what would it be?
Like everybody gets to be armed with a specific weapon, or a singular, you get this weapon.
That's
if
right,
you get
Grant gets one.
If Grant gets a weapon, I'm giving him a fucking nuke.
I'm giving him an Apache helicopter. That'd be more
Fully
terrifying.
armed.
That would be more terrifying at that time than a nuke.
Yeah, just
A nuke, they wouldn't understand what happened.
to just be like, all
Could
right,
you
everybody died.
imagine
God smote
at
us.
that time, the only thing in the air they've seen is a hot air balloon,
And
and then all of a sudden, a goddamn Apache helicopter comes flying over,
You might be right.
and just
That
taking
might be more
just
terrifying.
takes out an entire line of. That's you wave the white flag.
Yeah, baby.
I love the low budget feel of this channel. It's not a feel.
It's no budget. It's me.
We are two guys
in my pocket
in a
and it's-
backyard. We just got interrupted by my wife calling my phone because We're using my phone to record and not a camera.
And my phone got stolen in wherever the fuck I
Third
was.
world country.
It's not even a third world country. It's one of the better
Some
countries in
island
the
nation.
fucking Dominican.
Yeah, some island nation.
The Dominican Republic. I got it stolen in the Dominican Republic, so now I'm going back to my 4-year-old phone for camera because I can't afford to replace the stolen phone.
Sorry, we're bringing memories back with the Lowe's bucket, causing people to get the Lowe's tone in their head. I don't even know what the Lowe's tone is. There's like the commercial.
Lowe's has commercials?
Yeah, it's like, are they the Get It Done?
The only commercials I remember from
Home
any
Depot?
factory people are saving money and that's the only one I remember.
That's because you're from Indiana.
You're saving money.
Last question before they go. It might be the last question before
It's the
we go.
last question. This is the last question. We're done. Last question.
Maybe one more.
Okay,
Maybe
sure.
one
You
more
got two
after
more.
this.
2 more questions.
What celebrity do you think the Dems could run in 2028 that could beat Trump?
Jon Stewart.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
Jon Stewart would.
Because he's actually qualified
Oh fuck.
and would
Yeah.
do a good job.
Stephen Colbert. Still too
Again.
qualified.
And
Taylor
Lynn's
Swift?
right. Tay would be good. She wouldn't do it, but that could work. The Rock would be a nice choice.
Ooh, The Rock.
Or John Cena. A John Cena would be good.
No, nobody would vote for him because they can't see.
They can't see him. That's true. But that worked in the favor of the president who was in the wheelchair. Right?
FDR.
Yeah.
When Johnny pulls up history things, it makes me think I'm a proud dad. Despite him being older than me.
It's always the most random
still
shit,
proud.
too. It's
Still a proud dad.
It's so stupid.
All right, one more or 2 more.
Oh, Tom Hanks is a good one. Yeah.
Would Tom Hanks run as a Democrat?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not
enough
sure.
about
I
I
don't know.
if enough about people's modern politics.
No.
I don't know.
Tell me, I was just. It does. It also it doesn't matter. Trump would have run as a Democrat if they would have had him.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's just running.
Yeah, he's just.
That's it. Like, he's just picking the people to vote. Anyway, guys, that was super dope. Thank you for.
I thought you wanted one more. I thought you said one more. You said one
nobody has one more.
Oh, nobody has one more. Nobody wants one more.
All right. If in the next couple of seconds while I'm doing this outro, because I tend to be a bit wordy on these, somebody else has a question, we will answer that. Otherwise, we appreciate everybody taking their time out.
Did Tyson fight yet?
I doubt it. There are more than one Trump guys. One is really old. Right, yeah, I'm not even pretending that the other ones are going to, in any
Barron?
capacity.
He's not old enough.
Ivanka, I don't care about any of them. The brothers, I'm not pretending that I believe that once the Republican Party is done with Trump, they're going to move on, and they will get some other schmuck to hold up and be their little puppet or whatever. I think they picked Trump for a very specific reason. But I don't know. I hope we don't have to worry about it for good reasons and not for reasons that are the world's destroyed, which it's not going to be. It'll be fine. Sure, some of you may lose your rights. Sure.
Why? Stop!
Some of you...
Modern politics, what are we doing?
Maybe some of you will die because you won't be able to get to the life-saving care that you need because they decided that, all lives matter except for mothers.
I need a back surgery for, 3 years. I don't have it.
Oh, poor thing.
My back hurts, man.
I know. If only
I should have milked the work injury more and gotten that one taken care of in addition to the neck.
11 o'clock for the Mike Tyson fight?
It's 11? Nobody's watching that.
Will we ever visit Canada? Yes, I will.
I've already visited Canada.
Have
you visited Canada? Haven't
no.
You've never been to Canada?
I've been through Canada.
I don't know what that
I've
means.
flown through it. So I've
you've not. So you're not landed in Canada and actually.
I've been in Toronto,
but you're not
an
hung
airport.
out.
No, I want to go to Canada. I've never even gone whatever the fuck's across from Detroit.
Not even the Niagara Falls,
nope.
the Canadian side.
Just U.S. side. I've done U.S. side.
You want to go get
Niagara
drunk
Falls.
in Canada next weekend? Windsor's like 6 hours away, man.
No, I know. It's super close. We just got to work around hockey. Yeah, once hockey's over, I do
All
want
right,
to
you
get
know
in Canada.
what? At some point in 2025,
I heard there's
Johnny and I are going to take a guy's trip to Windsor.
Well, or 6. In the next couple years, sometime. It seems
You
like
don't want to limit it to the next year.
I
like,
just
that's too
it
much,
feels
that's
like a
too
lot of
much.
commitment.
I got the Canadian friends I met at the Dominican Republic. They live in, I think, Toronto. We can go to Toronto. We can probably like get drunk with them.
We're all Americans, but like always, big differences, specific issues. Yes, that's true.
What?
Nothing. We're just talking more politics. And
No,
I think we're done.
No politics.
And that's okay.
It's.
There we go, Cassandra. I like that. Our next stream should be us getting drunk in the Canadian wilderness.
Yes.
That sounds amazing. I would love that.
In Quebec? You want to go to Quebec?
It's good
fishing
fishing.
up in
Good
Quebec?
fishing in Quebec.
Or Newfoundland? The
Everybody loves
Canadians
fishing
that I
in
met
Quebec.
in the Dominican Republic really were trying to get me to move to Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Huh?
They said all you got to do in Newfoundland, like they live
I like
to
their
just buy a
dogs.
six. They want to work long enough to get a 6-pack, and that's all they care about. And that sounds like kind of my ideal society.
I'm never getting a 6-pack.
No, like of just
Oh.
these guys. Every night,
Oh.
have enough money to buy one of these.
It's like 2 hours.
Yeah. Not very wealthy in Newfoundland, apparently.
Well, find wealth.
Enough to get a 6-pack.
There you go.
That's it. We'll just wrap it up.
All right. Thank you all. You all have a great night. Appreciate you joining us.
We made it to
appreciate you
30,000. Let's make it to 50,000 by the end of next
checking.
year.
Yeah. Hey, and you guys can all be like, hey, we were the OGs. We were here. We watched their live stream back when you guys still didn't know about them because people aren't going to know about us. Like,
No.
it's never going to be a time when you're like, hey, yeah, I watched Historic Hindsight back when they still had 30,000, and now they're up to like 38,000. Big deal.
Tell your friends. Share. Subscribe. All that stuff.
Yeah.
I promise maybe that sometime in the near future we might have some T-shirts that you could buy from us if you want. And yeah. Maybe a Discord.
Maybe.